You're the captain holding it on the flag, being like, yes, we're going to slow this train down, and we're live, aren't we?
Yes, we are.
Gosh dang it!
I hit the button, they keep talking.
I saw it out of the corner of my eye. You need to give us a countdown.
No! Then we would mess with it.
It's more fun this way. You guys have to pay attention.
Wait, you're asking us to pay attention?
Yeah, I know. I knew at the moment I said it. Welcome, ladies and gentlemen, once again to the Glassbreakers Guild and our weekly D&D session. We are down a Nate. He is traveling out of town. He went back to visit family for a little bit. We should have him back next week. But for the moment, he is not with us. We do, however, have everybody else. Lance is just running a little bit behind, so you'll see him sneak in here relatively shortly. In the meantime, we do have a few announcements, as always, to get to, so I'm going to hit those real fast, and then we will see where we go.
I have notes.
As always, we do have our YouTube channel up and running, so all of the video content that we create does eventually make its way to the YouTube channel, and I realized late this week, when I couldn't do anything about it for all of the other stuff going on in my real life, that I'm behind by about 7, 8 episodes now at this point across 3 different playlists. So yeah,
That's because I haven't been nagging him all the time. This
will be our fourth that we're missing here for the main campaign. I've got 2 each on a couple of other playlists that I have to get uploaded for you guys. I will get that done this week. I do apologize. Normally I'm a lot better than that. You know, if people were paying me, that would mean something.
That's fair.
You know, if people were paying me, that would mean something. So,
I think I have
we wouldn't be playing on a pool table if we were getting paid.
Yeah, it's a good surface to play on. It's fine.
It is.
This is fine.
I guess so.
that is interesting. Okay.
What is
What
that?
is?
Oh, no, never mind.
Apparently, it's not that interesting.
It's not that interesting. Never mind.
Not as interesting as we thought it was.
I also apparently need to trim my beard.
I hate that. I did that yesterday.
So I am going to work on this week on trying to get the YouTube channel updated. We've had some other projects going on the side, so we'll try and get that updated for you guys this week. In addition to the YouTube channel, we do also have the Discord server. It's a good place to go to look for all of the announcements that pertain to this stream, as well as
Whatever my name is.
It's going to be one of those nights, guys. It's just going to be one of those nights. Kyrie's creative streaming.
Yep,
there we
that's
go.
The one.
That's the one I'm trying to say.
Oh boy. Oh boy.
So it's going to be one of those days. So all of the news and announcements pertaining to both of those streams can be found there. There's places where you can share art, where you can share stories, a lot of different stuff. You can interact with us. I'm getting better at being active on it. I'm still not great. I've got work to do. Sorry, guys. But that is out there, and if we ever have to change the schedule unexpectedly for any reason, we will put the announcement up on the Discord server. So it's a good place to go to check that out. Finally, we are just going to do a real quick shout out for panstreams.co.uk. Really, really cool guys. They let Steven have access to some sound effects and music for Alma. Didn't come into play a lot, but they were kind enough to let him use those free of charge. We've got a couple of other sources for that sort of thing for music and sound effects about to come online. We'll talk to you guys a little bit more about those when that happens. although I suppose I should also mention at this point the that I am using music and sound effects also from Sirenscape online, so they're a good source for tabletop music if you're looking for that sort of thing. That's all I have for announcements, so let's go to the table and see what shenaniganery we can pull off from these guys. Who would like to do
I'm gonna do
an
it.
update?
Yep.
Okay.
Thank
She
you.
has notes.
Thank
She's
you.
smart.
All right.
Find my notes. Okay, so last session, I think, I don't know, it's been a minute. So we took Alma's body, that was just, okay, sorry. Cabbage tries to break into Killian's shop, while she is doing, because it's locked and Killian isn't there, obviously, because he's somewhere in the woods, feeling sorry for himself.
He's lost in the woods.
Yeah. But while she's trying to break in, an Imperial soldier spots her and questions her about what she's doing. She tries to explain. She doesn't do a good job of explaining.
Nope.
The Imperial soldier is very, it's very suspicious. Anyway, so he's like, okay, well, I'm taking you to, so he's dragging her into the center of town.
Jesus.
I think, let's see, Mizuki, I want to say Mizuki spots
I think it was
them.
Milo.
Or no.
I did, yeah.
Yeah,
Because I was
to the
attempting to
rescue.
take
Milo-
Yeah,
Milo to the rescue because I
yes.
was helping Simi back in her drunken
Right.
state.
Yes,
Right, you were
yes,
super wasted.
yes.
That's right.
Yes,
yeah.
Simi was,
Super drunk.
not sober.
No.
Even remotely. Aforementioned, all our characters are very not mentally stable at this time.
Well,
Cabbage is doing better than a lot
Okay,
of us.
I mean, Cabbage is okay. Mizuki's doing okay.
I'm doing alright.
You're just turning into somebody else.
Yeah.
Or I guess into
Back into
yourself.
yourself.
Let's see.
Yeah, I'm returning to whence I came.
So I
You're just
think
physically unstable.
I don't remember, but I think anyway, they Milo says he knows Cabbage, and they get it sorted, and then I don't know, like they come back, they take Simi's. I don't know where do they take Simi?
We took her back to the winery. And
Yeah.
then
Okay. Yes.
I attempted to tell Cabbage what had happened, and then
I think we. Let's see.
it was
we
me,
all-
Simi, and Mizuki.
And Mizuki, yes, we all go back.
Those guys.
Yeah,
yes,
and then the
let's
two new
see, Volk
guys
and
interrupted.
Volk
and
Freak
Mal.
and Mal.
and Mal, yes, Volk and Mal. They end up doing some discussing. During this time, Mizuki notices that Adrian is getting Milo is shrinking.
Looking distinctly more Milo-ish.
Uh-huh.
Yes, yeah.
I think that was the next day, but yeah, that's basically what happened.
Pretty much.
Oh yeah, no. Oh wait.
Yeah,
Oh.
that was.
Oh yeah, no.
that
Okay,
was-
sorry. Okay, no.
No, you're
So
right.
okay, no. Mizuki ends up drinking with Volk and Mal. It's a very interesting experience. Lots of shenanigans ensue. She wakes up not feeling the best. She had a little too much to drink. She's not used to that. Cabbage has breakfast with her family. Let's see. Yeah. So she just got back. So she gets in late, but she gets to have breakfast with her family. Castian goes to the tower. After having a conversation with Master Arkwright. All right, Simi. Simi,
This is what 2 weeks does to us.
So yeah, this is Simi wakes up and there's someone in her bed.
Oh, right. That's
right.
And
right.
it was
The
when she
mortal
it's with a man in her
personification.
bed.
Yep.
Nonetheless,
Yep.
after going to bed very drunk.
Would have been
And
strange
very
if
much
a woman
by
too.
herself.
She finds out that it's Zoigan,
Yep.
her god, in a
Well-
mortal body or something.
The,
I don't.
the
I'm
mortal
not.
personification
the-
of
yeah.
justice.
Yes.
my bed.
In Simi's bed. Yeah. So that's a thing. Simi, Adrian, Zoigan, and Deidre have a very awkward breakfast,
Mm-hmm.
as one would expect.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
A lot did happen this week.
Oh yeah. So let's see. They go. Let's see. I'm not certain what happens. Because I don't have a lot of notes. I didn't do very well at taking notes.
Let's
this
see.
time.
Then,
But Adrian starts. I think they all go.
yeah, we go to the tavern to talk.
Yeah.
To talk.
To talk. I start.
Yeah, Adrian
shifting.
starts getting shorter. Mizuki pulls Adrian aside
Mhm.
and is like, "Excuse me."
There was
And
that
she
whole
takes-
weird misunderstanding.
Yeah.
So she
And then
she takes him to her room to let him know
mhm.
before I think she was the only one that noticed.
A few people I think noticed, but you were the only one that acted quickly.
I think she was maybe like the only one who really noticed.
Right.
Or one of the only ones who noticed. There might have been like one other person who noticed,
I
but
can't remember. And then we
no.
talked to Draxus about what was going on.
yeah. While Adrian or Milo is in
Myladrian.
Maladrian.
Maladrian. That's your name now.
Yep.
Maladrian. No, we're not
Wrong
doing that. It's not
Maladrian.
going to be a thing.
Is in Mizuki's room, and they're discussing. There's a knock at her door, and it's Prince Lars,
Oh, right.
Milo's
You have
brother.
You have a lunch with
Yes,
Mars
yeah,
together.
yeah.
Oh,
So
boy.
we have, yeah. Yeah, Lars stops by, asks Mizuki to go to lunch with him. She accepts because it's been a bit,
It's
and it would be
been a
suspicious
while.
not to accept at this point. So she accepts, and she's a little distracted because Milo happens to be
In the room.
in the room behind her
Wardrobe or
dressing
something.
thing. Yeah. Anyway, it's probably stressful for Milo. Poor Milo.
Or Milo.
Poor Milo. They go back to the tavern. And so where Zoigan and Simi and Volk
the rest
and
of the gang.
Mal. And
Those are gone now.
what?
I'm talking to myself. Sorry.
Oh, and they're discussing. Yeah, I don't know. That's like all I have.
We talked to Draxus.
Oh
and
yeah,
then,
they do talk to Drax. They go and find
that's
Draxus,
about where we left it off.
About the box. I think
Talk
Mizuki
about
mentioned.
reweighting the box.
Oh yeah, Mizuki shows the box that she had made a copy of.
So
Which should have been an exact copy of the box. Because she used her stuff
Pact
to
feature.
make it.
Or not pact.
her divine.
Channel
Channel
divinity. To
and
reproduce
I believe
it.
the plan was to wait until
But-
after your lunch, and then we were gonna
Yes.
head back to the tower
Yes.
to
Draxus says
attempt
the
iceberg
box
number 2.
weighs less than the original box, and she's very unsettled about it.
Right.
Yeah,
So that's where we left off.
All
I
right.
think so. I don't know. That's
That's, you did better than
That's-
than
yeah.
I mean, I took some
So-
notes.
Yeah,
So.
that's about as best as you're gonna get out of those circumstances.
There was a lot of like.
There's a lot of strange
There was a
stuff.
lot of like just
Mhm.
talking
There
about
was a
stuff.
lot of strange.
There's a
So
lot of
I
stuff.
don't always write that stuff down.
Okay.
right. Well then, let's
I
get
think
started.
yeah, we're like about to break.
Mal decides what his business is going to be called, his alcohol selling business.
Oh.
Because he
Okay.
figures he has to have a name for it.
Okay.
It's going to be named For Malfeasance's Sake.
Oh.
Or sake.
I was about to say sake.
Sake.
Okay, I probably have some.
All right.
Sake.
Well, do we want to go ahead and do this now or wait?
Please tell me this isn't going to be a normal thing that happens.
Let's do it now.
Please
Do
tell
it
me
now?
this is a
Okay.
normal
Yeah,
thing
before
that's going
we-
to happen.
All
Before
right.
we
So we have been gifted a specialty soda by one of our viewers that we have to try and pass around.
Who do you think? Who do you think? Please tell me this is going to be a normal thing that happens, because I don't like the last one.
Which is funny because you
This
drank
one's
more of it
bacon,
than almost
something or
everybody
other.
else.
I know, I really like dill pickle, but it didn't, it's like huffing, like a bag of like dill Lay's chips, just huffing the air out of that. That's what the
Okay.
taste
Is
was.
he even watching?
He said that he was waiting for the.
Yes.
Dead aimlessly.
Yep, he's here.
He's
Yeah,
here.
he's here. Yep.
He's here.
Okay, so that is like a soda version of
Oh, there it goes.
so of Bacos. Yeah. So
Is it like liquid smoke in a drinkable version?
I'm concerned. My stomach has not been kind to me.
Oh, it's
Oh, but
gonna
I
be
sent
worse.
you a thing to fix that.
Oh,
That's true, but I haven't
it's
been to the liquor
interesting. It's
store
like,
yet.
it is. That is
It's like-
fascinating.
Oh yes.
oh.
I'm not gonna go out of my way to
It's
buy
like-
that, but it is.
The best way I can describe it is like
Fascinating.
if you caramelized like bacon.
Oh,
Yeah, it's
it's
not
not as bad as I
bad.
thought it
It's
was.
not
gonna
bad.
bad.
It's just weird.
It is
Be.
very,
It's more
very
weird.
weird.
Than bad. And the bacon is almost an aftertaste. It's like cream soda first and then bacon.
It's like
Yeah.
when you have like
Okay, yeah, it's a
pancakes
little
and you
weird.
have like bacon
It's not
pancakes.
bad.
It's like when the
Mm.
syrup
Not
gets
a
on
big
your
fan of the
pancakes.
aftertaste.
Yeah,
Or
no.
your bacon. It's like when your
It's
syrup
like
gets
too
on your
weird,
bacon.
like
That
savory
smells
stuff.
like artificial bacon bits.
Yes, it
Yes,
does.
it
Yeah,
does.
Actually, you're not wrong.
That's yeah, that's the
Exactly.
Bacos that I was talking about.
It's,
What is wrong with your taste buds?
I don't know. It's been a weird day.
It's a weird day.
I tasted cream soda and then I got the bacon on the back end,
Like,
and the
that
aftertaste is not
Yeah.
That tastes like a cheap salad.
Yeah.
Like a cheap bacon flavored salad dressing.
great. I just
It's all yours.
I just got the sugar straight up from
Set
the
that over
top,
to the
like,
side
and
here.
then it was
Actually.
the
Set that in
aftertaste
a-
that was the bacon.
Right.
Anyway, let's continue.
All right.
That is weird. That is
That is
really,
very-
really
Alrighty. So, so Mal has decided
That's
on
what I
a
did.
name for his project.
hmm
Good luck remembering that.
I won't.
I
But
actually, so in
for
this,
malfeasance sake.
in this book that my mother got me for Christmas, there's actually a spot for if you own a business, and there's a bunch of information to fill out. So that's why I
Alright.
love it.
excellent.
That's really cool.
Okay. So where do you want to start, Keith?
Well, where do you guys
There's a last will and
want to
testament in here.
start? Because I mean, you guys have had some conversations with some new friends about what's going on.
I don't remember exactly where we left.
We left right after talking with Draxus.
Yeah.
And
I
then
think so.
we made a plan to, after Mizuki gets back from her luncheon, we could head back to Killian's Tower. Oh, and you wanted to talk to your mutant monk mentor
Oh,
yeah.
about
Master Isak.
Mr. Isak, about your mortal
Patron.
Patron.
Oh,
Thank
I
you.
was gonna say dilemma.
I mean, yes.
That too.
I mean,
Many things.
two things can be true.
Two things can be true.
So.
We are not Tweedles. So yeah, I will go. Sorry, that's that might have been a mistake. So I will go to the cloister, I guess, in the morning. Well, in the
It's-
afternoon.
It's
We're
almost
already
afternoon. Yeah.
yeah,
Okay.
we're
So
midday-ish. So
Yeah.
yeah, so it was about midday. So you guys are
Yes.
kind of you have the second half of that day
Yes.
to do stuff.
And I will just kind of grab Zoigan by the arm and just drag him in.
Oh, where are we going?
I gotta talk to somebody about this. I don't know what is happening, and I need to figure out how to get you back where you belong with, like, powers and things, and not squishy and here.
All right.
You don't know.
Okay,
You
yeah,
don't know
I.
you're squishy.
That's true, I haven't
I
tested
guess
that yet.
So-
I guess I wasn't thinking in those terms yet.
Yes, you're going to get answers from the mute man.
And what happens if you die?
You know what happens if you die?
Yeah, do you know what happens when you die? Do you know anything about this?
Well,
Does he have to make an insight on himself?
I wasn't exactly paying attention when I took over.
They skipped that day in God class. Did you play hooky? What?
I wasn't paying attention to what happened to the guy before me when I took over.
Oh.
Great. Okay, yeah. I know. We're just gonna. There's only one person that I can think of right this second, other than talking to the other gods.
I don't think anyone's going to answer.
So yeah, we're gonna go and see if it's happens to feel chatty today. He's one of your followers. You know him, right?
Yeah, I know him. It'll be interesting to see if he is chatty today.
Can you motivate him to be chatty? Is that a thing you can do?
He's never seen me like this, so probably not. But we'll see.
Okay. Just drag him in. Where is it's up?
So he is actually out in one of the fields that the cloister tends to. He's not inside the walls, but he's there, sort of doing some meditative hoeing in the winter.
As one does.
As one does.
As one does.
In winter.
He's still tending to the plot, making sure that it overwinters well. So he's out there at the moment, and he sees you as you're walking up, and he sort of raises a hand in greeting.
Nobody's immediately around.
There are a few of the other members of the order in the field, but they're not like super close by.
I'm gonna chase him down real quick and drag Zoigan with me.
Okay. And he just sort of lifts his eyes and looks back and forth between the two of you.
No. So, may I introduce you to Zoigan?
And,
Zoigan, can you Zoigan something? Can you do something godlike?
Like cold lightning.
I don't. And he's gonna reach out and he's gonna take the hoe out of Master Itzhak's hand, and he's going and he's going to kind of balance it on one finger, and then he's going to reach around behind his own head and sort of out of nothing pull a feather and lay it out on one end, and then he's going to reach back and pull
Goodness.
a fist-sized stone, and he's going to set it on the other end, and the feather end drops. It's about the best I can do.
Look, I don't know how, but he's here, and we have to figure out how to get him back where he came from, and I don't know how this happened. I'm not joking. I don't joke. I don't know how.
And Itzhak kind of stands there for a second, and he sort of looks, his gaze goes up, and he gets that far away look in his eye, and you can kind of tell he's remembering back over what he remembers of you, and he's like, oh, yeah, she,
And she's not drunk.
Yeah, today.
You probably
Yeah,
won't be for a
won't be
while.
for a while because
At least for today.
and he kind of shrugs at you, I guess, and nods and motions back towards the cluster. The cluster.
The cluster of buildings that make up the
Hey,
cloister.
when did we get here?
The cloister. Sort of indicating that that maybe you should go that direction.
Okay. I'll just follow along.
So he leads you sort of to one of the larger, quieter cells and ushers you in, and he sort of looks both directions to make sure there's nobody watching, and he closes the door and motions you to the very sparse, pillows on the floor for seating.
I'll follow him in.
Well, no, that was a. You can tell he's sort of asking you to
Lay it on me.
lay it on me.
So, I don't completely understand how all this works, because clearly you're a follower, right? So, like, there's still belief, I don't know, I had the nerve, even though I've written it 5,000 times, I guess he doesn't read these things, but I had the nerve to say out loud that I doubted what was what and whether he was real. Granted, I doubt whether I'm real half the time, and I woke up this morning and there was a god in my bed, and it's not like that, and she's just gonna keep rambling.
And he's just gonna let you like
Go.
word vomit at this,
It's straight up just word vomit.
And he's gonna turn to Zoigan, and he's gonna do the same thing. It's like, well, very much what she just said. You know how we get our power.
Nobody's fully
It's-
explained this part to me yet.
It's all about belief. And the more people that believe in us, the stronger we are. My brothers and sisters and I are not gods in and of ourselves. We are conduits for forces, greater forces at work in this existence. And we embody those. We are, or were, in our own time, what you might call champions, heroes, even. And each of us were drawn to one of these powers. Each of us became a conduit. We embodied those and gained followers. And as we gained followers, we gained strength. And the closer we got, the more followers we got, the closer we got. It was a positive feedback loop. Something happened about, some time ago, a long time. Time became ephemeral for us, so I know it was a long time, many lifetimes for you here. But something happened, and almost all of us began losing our strength, began losing our powers. Okay. We all had adherents, obviously, and just as obviously those numbers dwindled until there were just a very few left. And that's when belief becomes the most important.
Okay, so I believe in you now. Can you go back?
I'm not sure it quite works that way.
Does that mean we need to get him followers now? Is that how we do this? You know, you helping with this whole getting followers thing would work a lot better if you would talk.
That's it.
Because you've heard me talk.
Zoigan says, he says you're not wrong. Oh, well, at least I've still got that. Thank you.
Okay, then. That's a thing he can do. That's nice.
Welcome back to middle management.
So I'm not wrong, but you're still not gonna... You're gonna let me do the talking here? This is a terrible idea.
He says...
Happy birthday, Bowser!
Oh, no.
He acknowledges that, but he also has made a vow.
To who? To you? How does that work?
Not to me, but to the power I represent.
Oh, God.
That's what we're trying to do here, yeah.
And once again, you have fallen into the DM's pun trap.
That's painful. Great. Okay, so apparently to continue to have a god of justice, we have to get you followers.
I would say so. Probably, yes.
All right then.
So perhaps embodying justice and extolling justice and doing everything you can along those lines?
Isn't it your job to embody justice, and I just like point at you and be like, hey, look at that guy embodying justice, he must be a god?
I mean, I suppose we could try it your way, too.
I mean, I guess we can try both. They don't necessarily have to be separate timings, but the point is, like...
I mean, we need to talk it up.
Okay. you've heard me talk, right? Like, I know we haven't been together long, but you've...
I know what we're working with here. We're going to do our best, okay?
Great.
Ow.
Okay.
Maybe job number 1 is finding someone with a little more charisma to be my mouthpiece.
Oh boy.
Had one of those. Died by mosquito. Still a little salty about that, thanks.
Sorry, didn't mean it that way.
Died by mosquito.
That's your legacy.
Yep.
Just the kind of blood-sucking way that Alma would go.
Oh, crap. I'm gonna have to people now. Oh.
How's your charisma?
I don't know. I don't know. I know you're having trouble with reality at the moment.
That's an understatement.
That's the way to go about
If
this.
it helps, you're as real as I am.
Yep, I get it.
Doesn't help.
Not
I
gonna
don't think that.
It makes no difference.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, I'm here, so...
You're as real as the power that I embodied.
You're as real as justice.
Or as ephemeral as the power that kicked me out of heaven.
I guess real or not, I'm stuck here until something else happens, huh? So I guess I might as well make something happen. I guess I'm here for a reason, even if I'm dead, so... Or if I'm hallucinating, maybe there's something I can learn. Fine. Okay. We'll see what we can do with this. So it's that you gonna help rally the troops in your own
Way.
nice, quiet, serene way. I'm really sorry I'm so sassy
I'll
today.
be handing out pamphlets.
It's been a weird morning.
He imagines. What does that even mean?
But yeah, so you'll be doing things to help this, because I mean, I like you a lot more than I like me. I imagine other people do too.
Izat has a charisma score of 30.
It's just because he knows when to be quiet. All the
Always.
time.
It's all the time.
Okay then. I guess I got nothing else. You can still do all the stuff that you used to do before, right? All the stuff that he let you do before he was...
Mortal, cuttable, killable.
There is a terracotta pot sitting on top of one of the shelves. Kind of looks like a kimchi pot. Kind of smells like a kimchi pot too. Now that you think about it,
This is gonna go badly.
he sort of flings his arm out, and he doesn't have tendrils so much as he's got what almost looks like a shadowy, feathery wing that reaches out and wraps around it and pulls it back to him.
Can I upgrade to that, please?
Yeah, that would be a downgrade.
Not anymore.
Yeah, because that one doesn't go.
You've got the premium.
You pay extra for the noise.
Great. Great. Oh. Okay then. So I guess I'll go maybe talk to my friends. Maybe see what else can be done to rally the troops for justice.
Oh gosh, you're gonna come out of this a missionary.
This is the longest con for a missionary I've ever seen.
So weird, man. So weird. Oh, okay then. Alright, it's up. Looks like, nope, wrong one. Zoigan, looks like we've got to figure out how to do some justicing.
All right.
I will head back towards town and you can deal with other things.
Okay. All right. Milo.
I'm just waiting for everyone to get done with their stuff before we do whatever we do next. Cause
Where are you waiting? And what?
where would I be hiding? I would be hiding. I would probably be hiding at Adrian's mother's house. Just hiding there.
Okay.
Waiting. Just waiting.
Just waiting.
Just waiting.
Okay. All right. So you're just waiting.
Yeah.
There is at a certain point, you do hear footsteps downstairs, sort of clomping through the farmhouse, and there is a male voice, and it is. I have to go back to my notes.
Bacon soda.
I don't.
There's
I
still
know.
some.
I watched.
I don't have the name, but it's the young farmhand that Adrian
right.
had a little bit of a crush
It's your
on.
dead husband's ex-boyfriend.
Ex-crush?
Yeah, more ex crush.
Yeah.
And you kind of peer over the balcony as he's back and forth in the bottom of the in the lower floor of the farmhouse. Looks like he's moving some barrels maybe down into the wine cellar. Mal, what are you?
I'm going to buy honey.
In winter. Okay.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't like go bad.
No, I understand.
So where are you going
That
to look
doesn't
for
mean
honey?
It's like a general store.
Okay. Well, they look at you a little strange. Don't actually sell honey.
No,
All right, where
that
can I
money-
find honey?
Honey from the 80s.
Well,
Wasn't that great?
it's a couple of farmers that have it. When they have it, they don't typically harvest it during the winter
Well,
though.
of course not. No. I was looking to buy someone's stores.
Like, how much are we talking here?
All of it.
I mean, some.
Some. Okay.
I'll work with what I can get. I understand that it is the middle of winter.
It's a technical term. You may not be familiar with it.
Oh, okay. Well, all right. There's no guarantee they're going to want to part with any of it, but I will. Yeah, I'll. And he gives you the names of and directions to a couple of different farmhouses close by. The first one that you go to, the farmer just laughs in your face and shakes his head and closes the door right right in front of you. The second
Nice
one,
place.
yeah, the second one is a little bit more amenable, but he doesn't have a lot, and he winds up bringing out a couple of jars. Think quart-sized mason jars.
Oh, one of those will be plenty.
Okay, and
I'll give you 5 silver for it.
Yeah, that'll work. So you have your honey.
And then I will be going back to where I don't think I ever actually purchased a room at the inn.
Nope.
I'll just
Let
go
them
back
come
to the
in
inn room.
Okay.
And I will start experimenting with putting honey in a couple of things that are going to be fermenting for a while.
Okay.
Now, yeah,
All right. Volk.
that's you.
I know.
Oh.
I'm pretty sure Cabbage was dragging me off to see her brother.
Ah.
That's what I was trying to remember what
Yeah.
I was doing.
Yes.
Right. Okay, which one did I make you talk to? Was it? It was probably
You was this
Barley?
tall, dark hair.
Brussels.
This tall,
Ma'am.
this tall, this
You
tall.
talked to Brussels, and now you're going to talk to Barley. Barley, who has been
Coached a little
coached.
bit.
Yes, that's the word.
Yes.
Coached to.
For the correct answers,
Grab that.
possibly.
Well,
What's
Yes,
it?
whatever it was that
I don't
Milo
care.
said that you
I
didn't
don't
seem
care.
to. It didn't seem to be right. He's now going to do the.
Enjoy.
Or don't. It's not as bad as it could be.
Yeah. Could definitely be worse. It's like cream soda with a back taste
Yep.
of bacon.
It's like someone took some cream soda and like stirred it with bacon.
Yes.
They're like bacon bits.
Yeah.
Yep.
Bacon bits,
Not real
yeah.
bacon, yeah.
Oh yeah, no, totally. It's totally the artificial bacon bits that you should drench your salad in.
But could totally be worse. Would not necessarily drink a whole thing of it just for funsies.
Nope.
No thanks.
All right. So you guys are heading off to the
To like
to the
make
Cabbage's homestead, looking for barley.
Like, slow cook meat.
That's fair.
So when you guys get there, your dad and your two older brothers are sort of out in the field working. Barley's out there.
Be-
Hey, Barley,
Oh, Isis.
this is that guy I was talking about.
Oh,
He wants to know about our relatives.
ah, yes. Oh, right.
And yours are totally different than Brussels.
Hello.
Hello. Do you have family in capital?
Yes.
Do you have an uncle there?
Yes.
Is he married?
Yes.
How many children does he have?
Three. He's got three.
3, my lord.
I'm sorry, my message is not for you.
Well, that's all right. Thanks anyway, Barley.
Right. Yeah, I can guess I gotta go back to work. And
Volk.
Like Vulcan.
and
Like
so
ULK. Volk.
so Barley wanders back out to Brussels and your dad, who are working out in the field. It looks like they're mending some fences.
I don't think you know who you're looking for.
Yes, I do. Is man? Is this tall? Is dark hair?
See, yesterday it was this.
No, is always this tall.
Nope. Let's start measuring.
It was very specific. This tall.
He's this tall.
Stop.
Where did you say you're from again?
Oh, I have not told anyone where I am from. You are first to ask. I am from far in north. My family live in mountains around hot springs.
Wow. Do we drink Horn-Eater White?
Airsick lowlanders.
How do you normally measure things? Is there like a specific unit you use out in the mountains? Is it just whatever tree you happen to walk by?
Well, what do you use?
Feet?
Then I suppose we would probably use that as well.
Whose feet are you using?
Whose do you use?
I don't know whose was originally.
Then neither do I.
Yeah. I guess we should meet up with the others.
I think you two just have to have conversations all the time because Natalie's accent will just.
I know.
Just slowly.
It's good. You ask good questions. You're getting better at communicating.
You didn't say I asked good questions yesterday.
You didn't ask any good ones yesterday.
You're wrong.
Okay.
If you wrap him up, I can take it.
Caterpillar him.
Thoroughly enjoy that. I missed cabbage.
All right. So you guys gonna head back towards the common area as well?
Yep.
Okay. Right about noontime,
Okay.
there is a knock on your door.
Mm-hmm.
When you open, Lars is standing there. My lady,
Better take some
Hello,
notes.
friend.
shall we?
Yes, we shall.
Excellent. And he offers you his arm.
She'll take this one.
And the two of you walk out and are presented with your horses by Lars's. A couple of Lars's soldiers that seem to have taken up the job of bodyguard for him. And it does appear as though one of them is carrying a picnic basket, like you are used to their being on these jaunts and these outings.
Yes.
The two of you ride off out of town, and it swiftly becomes apparent that you're heading for one of the spots where he has brought you on sort of a lunch before. And to go about setting things out for you, and he helps you down, and you guys sit down to your picnic lunch.
Picnic basket.
Your picnic basket, yes.
Hey boo boo.
That was how that
Let's
was.
steal this prince's picnic basket.
Yeah.
I know. Give me half a second.
So,
Oh, poor buddy.
I said what
Oh, buddy. I haven't seen you around town much, my lady.
Yes, I was out of town as I believe I informed you.
You did. I assume all went well in
Yes.
your endeavors.
Yes, it went well enough.
Excellent. Anything that I can help with in those endeavors?
You could die.
I probably need some time to think about it if I do need any help. I have to
I
just
see.
sort through a couple things, so.
I see.
But I hope you enjoyed your time in town while I
It
away.
was it was very interesting and quite productive, I would say.
Productive.
Bum,
We do.
Bum.
We do like productive.
We do, yes. If I may, on the matter of thinking things over, have you given any more thought to my other proposition?
I think you mean proposal.
Yeah. Yes, of course. I have almost been exclusively thinking. I have certainly given quite a bit of thought to your proposal, and I have enjoyed times. But I still feel like we haven't quite had enough time together.
I see.
I feel that a 5-year engagement. Well, how about you?
Yeah.
One for each dead wife.
And I mean, I haven't heard back from my family yet, so
Ah.
I at least would like to wait until I hear back from them until I make a final decision. I'm sorry to keep you waiting.
Because I have so
though.
many suitors.
I see.
I
Oh,
do
the backlog.
actually. I do have suitors.
There was that one chick. I don't remember.
Yeah, Fabrisha.
Yeah.
Yeah,
She's
Ah.
cute. I like
she's
her.
cute. Yeah.
I'm team Fabricia.
I see.
Not team Lars.
I mean,
Yeah, team
anyone,
not Lars.
team Lars, team not Lars.
Team not wife killers.
Lars. Yep.
Team-
I don't suppose you have any idea when you might be hearing back from your family?
No, I do not. How long has it been since I?
Postal system is very
Because I- yeah.
irregular.
How long has it been?
Uh,
Official timekeeper.
By the way,
when?
Yes.
So when she sent the first letter to her parents.
When Lars came into town,
right.
I believe I sent as soon as
So
Lars.
yeah, probably.
I believe I sent.
Not enough time for it to have gotten there
and
and
back.
back.
I didn't
I think
think so.
I think
Pretty-
with the time frame, it has barely gotten there.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm pretty sure it has arrived.
It has
Oh, yeah,
arrived.
But
I'm
it has
sure it's
not. There
arrived.
has not been time for a return.
To return.
Right.
Gotcha.
So 2 more months.
2 more months.
Since we don't use magic here.
So that's what we're looking at.
Okay.
Only if
As-
we could communicate via magic.
No, who could do that?
Yeah, that's heresy.
That-
No,
that is heresy.
No,
Meanwhile,
of
the
course
rock in someone's pocket.
Not mine. Not mine.
Hey, listen.
I don't even need the rock anymore. I don't even
well,
Yes,
Okay.
I do apologize for the wait. I realize that you might not want to stay
Maybe you should go
in the
home.
city.
oh, I've found other pursuits to entertain myself.
Well, I mean, if you're here for a while longer, then it seems there's no harm in
Of course not. I'm a
giving me
patient
a
man.
little. I appreciate your patience.
So
Is there one?
give me a
There is now.
what?
I was just reading when you gave me information about my family, and like the last thing of Lars's thing is like, is a frequent member of the brothels of the Rose Quarters. I was like, is there a brothel?
There is one now.
Now.
Sort of where my mind went.
He saw to it.
Yes, you did.
I'm gonna be spending so much time in this dinky little town. I
He
gotta
brought
have
one
something
with
to do.
him.
There you go.
Yeah, he brought.
I brought a whole gypsy caravan full of them.
Make,
Portable brothel.
do make me a,
Mordenkainen's portable brothel.
Yes.
That is something Mordenkainen would create.
Yeah.
yes, it is.
What level?
That's a 9th level spell, you know it.
Yeah.
Do make me a perception check, please.
Wow, that was not a good roll.
That's actually the 6th level. The 9th level's the Pleasure Palace.
8.
Of
8.
course you chose
8.
Okay.
Okay.
So after that little exchange, the conversation does turn to more banal topics, as would befit someone of Lars's stature, and your own.
Which is
Yes.
which is large.
Yes.
And it's several long minutes later when one of the guards sort of looks up, and you notice that there is a rider coming, a soldier, a messenger, approaching. He rides right up to the guard, hands down a missive, and then turns and rides back. The road he's on is the one that would loop around up to the garrison camp.
Okay.
The guard brings it over to Lars, my lord. And he hands it to him.
66.
Just wipe the whole village.
And then turns and goes back to his guard post. Lars, if you'll excuse me for a moment, my lady, and he
Of course.
pulls, he breaks the seal on it, pulls it open.
Spies on it with your little opera sunglasses. Glasses.
Make me an insight check.
Okay. 17?
Whatever is written on the note has surprised Lars, but it's also made him quite pleased. So it's not something he was expecting, but it is something that is,
I've been found.
it's good news for
For
him.
him.
Which is bad news
For us.
I do apologize, my lady. I thought I would have a full afternoon to spend with you, but it appears that
I need to go kill someone.
it appears that other matters have arisen that I need to attend to.
Of course, I understand perfectly. I wish you luck.
Thank you, my lady. Do you need an escort back to town?
That would be perfectly acceptable. Yeah.
Excellent. And he'll snap his fingers and he will detail one of the guards
And
to
you
go
have
with
to-
you.
You have to go to walk today. Don't go to the north side. You'll be blowing it
That's
up
where we're
shortly.
starting.
And so he rises, gives you a bow, takes
So-
your hand and kisses it, mounts his horse, and rides off to the north.
Wow.
He takes one guard with him,
Mm-hmm.
leaves the other with you to pack things up
Okay.
and help you up onto your horse and back to town. Make me a perception check.
I can feel your leather.
15?
15?
Close your eyes.
Just before the pair of them turn the corner out of sight down the road, a figure steps out of the woods. They sort of canter. They slow to a canter and disappear from sight. The figure is robed and hooded. You can't make out anything about. You can't make out anything about the features,
I mean, you got hit it by the same time.
but he's not, or it's not very tall at
Oh
all,
my freaking gosh.
Well,
and
gonna be an
fairly
eventful day.
stocky.
The dwarf.
the freaking dwarf in a robe that shows up every time something bad happens. He showed up when the mill burned down. He showed up when
Right.
Draxus's place burned. Something's gonna burn down today.
And hopefully it's not one of us.
Burn down.
Yep,
Yep.
for sure. Something is going to burn
the dwarf
down.
an arson?
Is a pyromaniac?
Is the dwarf an arsonist?
And the trio of them, Lars, his guard, and the figure,
He's a man.
disappear from sight down the road.
That's where he's been.
something-
Ezekiel will ask. Yes.
Something troubling you, my lady?
Do you see
Have
that
you-
hooded man?
Did you see that hooded figure?
I saw nothing, my lady. I was.
Guard catches on fire.
I saw. I'm terribly sorry. I was occupied.
No,
so I'm sorry.
That's
Why
perfectly-
must you bring me into this?
That's perfectly all right. I was just wondering. I haven't seen them around town, so.
I'm just gonna take this one off the table.
And I mean, if they were, if this figure was speaking or traveling with Lars, then they
Then you
must be of import.
I'm sorry, my lady. I
I don't wish to be killed.
Don't hurt
I don't know anything.
I'm good at
I
my
don't know
job, which
anything.
means I don't pay any kind of attention to that sort of thing.
That's perfectly all right. Don't let it concern you.
As you say, my lady.
I mean, I wasn't before, but I kind of am now.
Shall we go?
Yes, we shall. Let us return.
All right, and he will
Let us leave.
he will lead off back down the road that you came on, going back towards Setterton.
Okay.
So those of you who are not hiding from Lars,
So everyone else to get me.
so you guys all meet up, I suppose, back at the tavern, at the inn.
Not Killian's Forge anymore to.
Well, it's unlocked now.
It's
It's
unlocked.
unlocked.
You
It's
can.
unlocked.
Yeah, but last
I guess.
time I almost got
I guess
dragged
at
off.
some point I will return back to the group.
Okay.
And I can't speak for the safe, there are still hazardous materials in the air there, so.
Yeah.
Needs to be a super fun site.
Yes.
So wherever you want to gather, you guys gather.
Okay, tavern is probably the best bet now, but we should definitely pick a new location after this.
Right.
I mean, yeah, you're not really involved yet. But you will be, and it will be important to you later.
I mean, he
This
wants
is
to get
where the
involved.
beer
He's,
is.
he wants to get involved if he's looking for the box.
Yeah.
It will be important to him. He doesn't know how much danger we're in right now.
True. Speaking of which, shall we head back to Killian's place?
Milo's like, I'd like to leave,
I'd like to
please."
leave town.
Sorry, that was Natalie talking, not
Yep.
Cabbage.
Oh, okay,
But-
sorry.
Uh-oh.
That was Natalie speculating, but
Yes.
But yeah, where are you? You're...
Hiding.
I'm sorry.
Hiding.
At
Well,
your
no,
mother's.
I'm.
He has
I
rejoined.
have rejoined you.
Oh, okay.
I was just hiding for him coming and leaving.
Gotcha. And I guess we could go over to Killian's place if you wanted to.
I was thinking his more stone structure, but
Oh.
The basement.
Oh.
unless
Fingers.
I was thinking of his tower, but I don't know what everyone else's plan is. So
How far is this
We still
tower?
it's like half a day.
It's about a half a
Yeah.
day, and at this point, with everything that has happened, if you guys went that direction, you would be arriving there in the dark.
Yes.
I feel like, and we still have to take. We have to figure out what to do with Alma. We have
Well,
to
that's
take him
already taken
Almost.
care of.
Isn't
No,
his
Alma,
body
Alma's going to
won't-
come get him.
Okay.
His
okay,
body
gotcha.
won't
Yeah,
decay.
Alma's parents.
Yeah.
So out of
it's
game,
fine.
Alma's parents said that
oh,
that they were going to let Olmo know, and then Olmo was going to come and get Alma's body.
I forgot who I was for a second. So, rewinding a little bit, I would have asked at some point. I would have asked Zoigan if Zoigan can bring Alma back to life.
Elmo's gunning for the chaos.
Well,
Probably
maybe not in
now.
your current
Probably
situation,
not
but
now.
like
Not in my
His name would
current
be Carlisle.
situation, and even at my full strength, I actually leave that to a couple of my siblings.
Can you put in a good word and have them talk to me?
you have them on speed dial.
I mean, I can see what I can see. I can try.
I can ask, but I kind of got kicked out of the big upstairs club.
And I would have asked, it's sorry.
I got kicked
I would have
out of the big
asked-
club in this valley.
I would have asked Itzat if he could, like, however they healed me. I wasn't sure how bad off I was, so like, can you
were
and your
mosquito dead.
friends undead someone?
You were only mostly dead.
If you say it that way, he looks horrified.
No.
No,
Not
not undead. Relife someone. Relife someone.
There you go. I like that. You relife someone.
not necromancy.
It's okay. No one can do that anyway. Not-
we've met.
Not to Alma.
no, not to Alma because I
He says yes, but it's very
Yes.
difficult.
because I did
And
whatever stuff. So no one can make it
might
to bed for like
need
10
to
days.
involve higher
I think-
members of the order from the capital because it requires.
Oh boy. Yeah,
Really?
there's-
You're making puns? And it's just kind of chuckles. He says it'll take people from the capital because it takes capital.
He doesn't talk a lot. This is okay. This is, I mean,
Right.
I like him
because-
more and more.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was gonna say he's your kind of person, apparently.
Really?
okay.
Puns about bringing people back from the dead. Okay, whatever.
Well, that's another conversation I have to have with somebody else then. Okay. Okay, so,
And then-
sorry. I forgot where I was going with that now. I'm super sorry. I'm super flaky. But, okay. So we don't have to, other
So,
than getting you hidden, we don't have to go tonight. We just need to make sure that we keep you.
Oh, right. Sorry.
No, you're
I didn't
fine.
know we were back in the present.
Sorry. Sorry, that was my bad. But
He's still poor at communicating.
we don't need other than to keep you, you know.
We don't necessarily need to leave tonight, but I feel
Okay.
like it would be a good idea if we did. Due to the situation of the current occupation of town.
What?
Sorry, fancy words.
He's
There's a lot of guards in town, and I don't want to be seen,
Yes.
or if something were to happen, I don't want there to be like 100 guards on us in like a second.
It's a fair point.
Yes.
Hi guys.
hello.
Hi, Simi. How are you feeling?
I'm good. I'm confused as to why they're at our table.
Wait, no. I was here
Actually,
first.
you
You were
were
at
at
my
our
table.
That exactly is true.
Oh,
I don't
Oops.
really know. I feel like our security measures have just deteriorated.
Well, it's
Doesn't matter
As we've
anymore.
lost more and more members of the party.
we need we need help if we're going to be able to do that tower on the glacier again.
and them because
I
what?
believe this is another point in time where I should remind all of you that you are very poor at communicating, and this often leads to misunderstandings among people.
There's poor at communicating, and then there is
Intentionally
withholding
being
information
vague.
intentionally.
So we are being left out of the conversation, is what they're saying,
Yes.
or
Yes.
trying to be.
Well, then
Although
why
they're
don't you
failing
just
at
go
that
get
too.
your own table?
I don't know.
I don't-
Why are you
I don't
why
know
are
how
you
we
having
ended
this
up at
discussion
such
at our table but not with us?
Um,
I'm very this is not how things are normally done.
It's been a long week.
it's been a very long week.
It's been a long it's only been 2 days.
When you're not giving messages to people,
It's been a
who
very
are you
long-
giving messages for?
Oh, is giving message for family member in capital. And
From
looking
who?
for their family member.
From who?
I don't know her name.
Insight check.
make the roll.
What is it? I probably have a really terrible. No, actually, I
it's
have a
wisdom.
decent.
It's wisdom.
Oh, 16.
Is not lying about that specifically, but there are a lot of things about this whole message giving shtick that he is not like. There's a lot of stuff that doesn't make any sense, and it's not. The height of the person keeps changing. The questions he asks people keep changing.
Are any of my or any of my family handlers that came up with Lars? Are any of them? brown
Also,
hair.
you would think after
right?
telling all of us.
Well, dark
His
hair.
Dark hair?
his
With the
descriptions
stuff you
have
would think
been
that they would
vague
flag it
enough
And
and generic enough and
No.
variable enough
Could be anyone.
that it could be literally anyone.
Okay.
Within certain parameters.
Okay, well,
Yeah, within
Just
certain
have to have
parameters.
dark hair and be male.
dark hair and female. Okay.
It doesn't matter what
Well,
you are.
if any, I'll get some of my.
I mean, you.
handle.
Most of your retainers would
Retainers?
probably.
Yeah,
Yeah,
most
yeah.
of them probably would
We'll
be close
check.
enough. You could run them. You could
Run
run them
them
across
through.
his path and see
Okay.
what happens.
Okay, I have a few people that.
Oh, wonderful.
yes.
You tell them that I maybe have a message for them.
Okay, I mean I will. They're in the inn.
So when you're not delivering this particular message, what do you do?
It kind of depends.
Just kind of
Usually I work for hire.
doing.
And I am large and I like swinging axes, so I often am hired to swing axes at things.
What is your rates?
It depends on the job
Uh,
and how much I like the person hiring me.
And how well they communicate prices.
Why, are you looking to hire?
I'm so bad at communicating. Maybe.
maybe.
Well, then maybe I can work for you.
How
do
are
you-
you about discretion?
You mean
Valiant.
like not telling people things that they're not supposed to know?
Yeah.
Well,
I feel
none
like
of you
he's-
have heard my message because none of you are the right person. So,
Yeah, but we don't know.
Fair.
how
Based on-
burdening this
based on
is.
this discussion, better than all of you.
Okay.
I can't argue that.
I can't argue that either.
And and the thing with the box and stuff, you're
Right, the thing you've already told him about that now you've decided you don't want him to know about, and you pretended that we didn't
That's-
already know about the tower with the glacier where your friend unfortunately met his end.
I was very drunk. Just
Yes, you were.
bear with me
How
for a
much
minute.
did you tell them
What's wrong?
exactly?
What is wrong with
It's
us?
called grief.
Yep.
Good grief.
No, not that kind.
Oh, the bad
Is
grief.
there
Just let it sink in. It'll pass.
The more that I talk to you, the more sketchy you seem.
What is
Why?
these words sketchy?
Poorly drawn. Like stick figures, outlines of.
Well, that is true. I am very poor at drawing. He's not one of my skills.
Mine either.
but
I meant, like,
So, Mr. Volk,
Suspicious.
would you be interested
Yeah.
in doing a
Suspicious.
job
Is what she meant.
in assisting us with a extraction of the box from a tower?
Yes. And because I feel like you need someone with you who can effectively communicate, I will do this one for free.
Well, if we-
Well, that is gracious of
I
you, and
find
perhaps we
that
can
bad.
find some other stuff to extract that perhaps we can use as a bonus payment.
Yes, other things I will not be doing for free, but this one I feel like I should because you seem like you need help and you are clearly deep in your grief
Well, thank you.
and deep in other things.
And
Nope.
and
I don't have
Mal,
more inspiration, but I
you're-
like that a lot.
and Mal, you're
Mal, yes.
Mal, my apologies. You're wanting to be an adventurer, or
More specifically, a hero. But yeah.
well,
wait, what?
That's a very
well, perhaps if you
They have
uh,
really not asked us a whole lot about what we want.
I've only talked to you like once.
Yep.
That is
And
not
you were
true.
drunk.
You talked to us an entire night. You told us all about
You may
your
not
friends.
remember much about that night.
You were also not
I
good
was
at
all- I was
communicating because
very
you made
drunk.
us believe that she was romantically involved with your fallen friend, which apparently is not the case.
yes, of
Yeah.
course, I
I was-
apologize. We were deep in our grief, so we've been having communicative
And your
problems.
grief was deep in you.
Yes. And
Ba-dum,
see-
ba-dum,
and you're wanting to be more heroic and sort of
I don't know about
thing like
heroic.
that.
I mean, look at me. Squeak.
of course.
He's new from this store.
Yes.
Fresh
But-
on the
and-
farm is perhaps a phrase that might be used here.
True. And perhaps if we were to take care of this tower, in you assisting us, perhaps that will help you work in your new armor and be more heroic.
Okay.
Something
hold
like
on.
that.
Let me get this straight. You want to do a hero thing, like you just want to be known as a
Something
hero.
heroic.
Yes, he wants to be a hero.
You want to save a baby from a burning building, and people call you a hero. Like, is that what we're going with?
Something like that. Yeah.
How do you define hero?
It's a loose definition.
He saves a baby from a burning building.
I mean, anyone who does that is a hero. So.
You would think. that, you
Not
could
if
be
they
kind to people
Usually,
to
if you
save.
put baby in burning building first, you don't actually count as hero for pulling it out.
No, of course not. I was
No.
referring to the other way.
look very uncomfortable.
For science.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
So.
That was a poor choice. Out of character, that was a poor choice of example.
So another. Yeah. So we.
Now, to be fair, the house was not burning at the time.
No,
No,
but
no, and I don't remember that. So
Thank you, Simi. If I had inspiration, I would give it to
That's
you.
fine.
you know, I-
Well, thank you.
Oh, actually, so do I.
Well,
Nice
thank you.
shot.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
So, would you gentlemen care to join us on this?
Oh, I thought I already was because.
I sort of thought,
Okay.
since you already told him all about this box that he apparently is also looking for, that you were including him in your plans.
Oh, good.
Now we're making it official because I am not drunk. I would like to be, however.
Oh yes, consent
Can
is
we
key.
reverse
Yes, consent is key.
What?
that? Can we
Not for you, we
undo
cannot.
the thing that...
You need
Oh,
no more.
absolutely not.
You need no more alcohol.
Are you sure?
Positive.
I mean, you've
I
been doing
agree.
well so far.
Also,
I
I
have-
can't fix that.
I have a long
I
story
agree.
history of drinking alcohol. I am an expert in the subject of imbibing it, and you need no more. You are
Expert
actually limited.
alcoholic.
So, besides you
How long
two,
does that last?
What?
are you guys
It's a real
ready
life thing.
to go
So
back now or
it's mostly psychological.
to the tower?
I wasn't there.
Yeah, Cabbage hasn't been
True. So you're ready.
there. And-
But I'm
If
referring
I'd been
to.
there.
Wait, is there anything we need for this journey?
No,
Cold
everything.
weather clothes,
Clothes weather,
probably.
yes.
Okay, that's
Which
how,
we
how
have-
Climbing
cold?
gear.
How cold?
Hey, we have climbing gear.
Icy.
I have
Oh,
climbing
it
gear.
will be fine.
I
Yeah,
feel
it's like home.
Yeah,
Exactly.
yeah. Climbing gear.
We've
I have
got
climbing gear.
everything for the
She's
climbing
got-
gear. The
yeah,
climbing gear is
I've
still
won.
on the glacier technically.
No, I got it.
No, we have, like, we have
no,
pittons.
the pythons we put in to like thread, that's technically still
Oh,
there.
Well, I made
I don't
those
think
ones.
we
I
took
have
those
the
out.
I still
Right.
have my climbing
No, I,
gear.
I know you still have that. I was just like, we
no,
still
okay,
have like
I
the
mean,
pittons.
technically the pines are still there.
Yeah.
But that's fine.
There's
Because then
probably
we
still
can just
blood on the ground.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Oh,
Frozen.
blood
but
stains
frozen, but-
in the eyes.
so
it's like
Simi,
tiger's
were
blood
you-
slushy, right?
are you ready to head back, or do you need another day?
I want a tiger's blood slushy now.
We should go get Akarai. Gosh.
Yeah.
And this is the man that you are sleeping with to relieve your grief, yes? I believe that was what was established.
Excuse me?
Yep.
What?
Yes, because I thought that you were sleeping with your person who
Dead
pretends to be a god, but you are not. But he did say that that was what this man was for.
Zoigan is here, right? Like, he's...
I mean,
Is he?
Is he?
is he?
Where else?
What
does
else
he have?
would he be
Where else
doing?
And Zoigan's just kind of sitting there. I mean, he's
He could be campaigning for mayor.
he's
He could-
He-
Vote
he's
for
actually-
justice.
yeah, he's actually been sort of writing,
no, he's making pamphlets.
making notes on, and he sort of looks up. Oh no!
no
No,
what?
To what?
That was a lot of no's, so maybe to a lot of
That was
things.
a lot.
Well,
True.
presumably, if he is effective at communicating.
You know, I'm not sure that I really am, but
He
no,
does
she
run
and
with these
I
ones.
are not.
No, yes. You are not. But you did say there was another person whose name was this Acharai, and that is what their job was.
Did I say that?
You did indeed say that.
I don't remember saying that.
I'm gonna
Yes.
just like,
Yes.
It was.
if
when
there
we
is
first met
something
him, I was
huckable,
like, so
I'm
you're
going
not
to
sleeping
take it
together.
and
He's
huck
like, no,
it
that's
at
what
you.
Acharai is for.
Sorry.
Rude.
So this is the man that you are sleeping with. Yes.
I am not sleeping with this man. We had a relationship a long time ago.
Right. He is in Old Flame.
I guess.
Yeah.
If I am wrong, please correct me. Clearly it is difficult to understand exactly what is happening here.
There is
It is a very
yes, former
complex
romance ended very poorly, but now maybe he's not such a bad guy.
Well, I mean,
That
he's
is usually what people tell themselves in times such
I mean,
as these.
he's working on something right now with his problems.
That one's gonna take too long to unpack.
Yeah.
Not sleeping with him.
Okay.
Yeah, no, not sleeping
But do
with
we
him.
want to bring Acharai?
Well, he's a whole lot better at a whole lot of stuff than us.
Like keeping secrets and communicating and.
Yes,
There,
all
Steven.
of those
Okay.
things. And hitting things. He's really good at hitting things. He's better than me at hitting things, and I'm really good at
I would like to clarify again, as I am coming along to provide my expertise in communicating. When you say that way, like he is very good at hitting things, in fact, better than you, this is often used as euphemism for sleeping together.
Hit that.
Not in this case. Literally good at doing damage by striking people.
All right, you understand the way you say that, with that faraway look in your eye and that small smirk. It would lead one to believe.
That's just my face.
I mean, I'm with him on this one, Sydney. I'm sorry.
Forgot.
Yeah.
What background did you come from where this is your no, this is Braden, where your normality is this?
Is being open and honest?
Yeah.
Who does that?
Who does
There's
that?
there's a reason he left home.
That would be a thought.
So remember the drink that Mal gave you,
I forgot about some of the other side effects.
and it just kicked in.
Oh! So, Sumi is going to. Her eyes will get very large. She's just going to excuse
Oh,
herself
boy.
very suddenly from the table.
There it is.
Oh, is this the...
Yep.
Wait,
Ah.
what did you do?
Yeah.
She's gonna need to go to the bathroom.
Is part of the thing we gave her to make her not want to drink. It had to come out
I thought it
eventually.
would be a good idea.
Oh no, it was a good
Yeah.
idea. She needs no more alcohol.
Yes.
Yes.
We are all in agreement of this fact.
It's a swift
I believe.
intervention. That was. It wasn't even an official intervention, it just happened.
I mean, it needed to happen.
It
What
did.
happens when
did.
Simi looks like she's about to jump off the cliff?
Mizuki
Everybody's
is
like,
gonna
"Nope."
ask, like she's just gonna go to where Zoigan is. Do you know Vinas?
Oh yeah, that's
Civilization.
Keith. Yeah,
Civilization,
Keith is
yes.
drawing a blank on
Lawful neutral.
the sex.
Yeah, it's lawful.
Male.
Oh, yeah.
Male,
Yeah, that's my brother.
I am a follower.
Oh, he'll be so happy to hear that.
Yes, I mean I have been for a while.
Excellent. Good.
Awkward. Why are you telling me this?
Awkward. But just
Danny is
I
apparently
was
a
just-
good actor.
just I was curious. That's how much do you know about him? Your
Well,
brother.
I mean, he is my brother, so why? What's up?
Oh,
what,
I just
what do you want to know?
anything that you're willing to tell me.
Well, I mean, we all. Well, I mean, I say brother.
Brother.
We're like
Step.
the 9 of us are like siblings now. We were more like an adventuring company before.
Oh.
It was a long. I mean, it was a long time ago.
Yeah.
It's
Yes, but
probably
nothing he is telling you is true.
I mean, he said he's a god, so.
2,000,
Yes, I have seen the gods. They're much
3,000
bigger
years
than me.
ago or so.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, it was. Oh man, that was such a wild time.
Cabbages,
You know, we had so many good times. He always liked the cities more. He liked all the hustle and bustle and people coming and going, commerce, civilization, pounding. The pounding heart of civilization. Shut up, Steven.
Huge.
You are also not very good at communicating. You also struggle.
What makes you say that?
You should not pause when you say pounding in reference to a civilization. It gives the wrong impression of what you mean.
In retrospect, you're
Unless you
probably
really mean
right.
the work of brothels as the pounding heart of civilization.
Well, I mean, you're not
I-
wrong.
If that is what you meant, then you are very good at communicating.
And my brother would tell you that can serve as the backbone of a community, but not what I meant. So thank you for correcting me. But yeah, he was always one for progress and the march of civilization. Yeah.
I was just curious. My family and I have been worshippers for
Wait, your whole
many
family.
generations.
Sorry.
Listening in as we were.
I just didn't realise that there was a whole bunch of us that was worshipping the old gods.
I mean, and I've told you that it's a secret.
There are 2, which is what?
Wait.
Okay.
So again, normally, one does not, and I'm going to look around the common room of the tavern.
Okay,
How many
she
people
was
are here?
whispering to Zoigan, so
I
she was
assumed
being
that
quiet.
It's
She went
midday,
aside.
so-
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean it's midday. It's midday.
And everyone's
well,
working.
Oh, it's
no,
in,
it's not midday.
in that,
It's
like
it's
late afternoon now.
middle of the
Yeah.
afternoon
Yeah.
on towards evening, but not quite the full
Yep.
dinner rush. It's sort of that lull between lunch and dinner.
Normally, secrets are not something you should be discussing in
In a tavern.
large room where anyone is allowed to come in.
Can't.
You may not have known this, but that is usually not effective communication of secrets.
Take this elsewhere.
Usually there's no communication of secrets, so
Yeah,
Not.
usually
Fair.
secrets we don't.
No, completely fair.
communicate. So
so...
no, so my family.
You remember
they-
what just happened?
Yes.
That happens more when you drink.
Is that permanent or
No.
Oh.
It is as long as we keep feeding it to her.
How long does this
You
last?
took a really big swig, if you recall.
Yeah.
It's gonna
You
be a
did.
day.
Oh,
It's actually, so it is mostly a psychological thing, because you're mixing something that is distinctly alcohol with things that are terrible. So,
Anyway.
It's the equivalent of giving yourself food poisoning on purpose, so
Yeah.
you won't eat things anymore.
But yeah, we don't really talk
our
about
large
it. But
friend.
I figured that since
We should
like,
go somewhere else to talk about all this.
Is conversation in big open tavern room probably not a good place for this.
I wanna. Why are your Killians?
Killian's
Winery or Killian's?
Killian's.
Okay, that was fast.
Well,
I don't.
Joking.
I mean,
Mother.
Killian's not
If
there
the winery is an
telling-
option, I still need to make a sale.
But I'm here. I can handle most of Killian's stuff.
Is what you make technically wine?
No.
Then
Although I have made wine, but most of what I make
why
is
would
not
the
wine.
winery want what you make?
Add on to their stock? I mean, I'm sure most of their business is wine. But when
Mhm.
one has, customers looking to buy alcohol, there are all kinds of customers looking to buy different kinds of alcohol. So just expand your repertoire.
Wouldn't that just be the tavern?
Not necessarily, and I'm looking at selling here too, but the maid who said she was going to talk to the owner isn't here right now, so.
Right.
Anyway,
But I would prefer Killian's place.
it's just
We
more
can-
dangerous.
We can do Killian's place.
I can take you by the winery. If we're waiting till tomorrow to leave, I can take you
Is that
by
the
the
plan?
winery later.
I believe so. Yes.
I have no
Yeah,
idea.
plan.
You have not yet
It's-
communicated any sort of plan to one another.
We
I would
haven't
rather not
discussed enough.
get there in the middle of the night, because
Yeah,
if you'll
It's not
recall,
ideal.
the surroundings are still
Yes.
like all paranoia stuff, right?
Deadly.
I really
But-
enjoy that you're looking at a big man.
this is Danny too,
Um,
Lance.
If I recall, they turned it off
Did
before they left. 'Cause-
So Sionis knows how to turn it on and off.
yeah, and Castian figured out.
Me and Castian figured out how
Yeah.
to work it.
So
Yeah.
last I saw, or last I
It was
remember, you
supposed
guys
to be
had
back
turned
on.
it off.
Yes, but we taught Sionis how to turn it back on after we had left. So,
Okay.
so
Now the question is, did you leave instructions
yeah, we
to
taught
turn
him.
it on?
Yeah, we taught him how to
they
turn it
have.
on.
You
Taught him,
guys
but did you
gave
tell him?
him.
Yeah.
If I recall, he was given one of the sending stones that between everybody they had.
Yeah,
Because I
but
don't
the
need
problem
a
is
stone
Nate left that with Alma's parents. We were gonna use
Right.
that, but he wants to. Castian still wants to talk with Alma's parents, so that
Right,
way of
gotcha,
communicating
gotcha.
to him is gone from us. So we're gonna have to figure out something else.
Unless you go by
She's
I
got
have
s-
sending.
Okay, then that's
Now-
our
She
solution.
is a sending stone.
I am
Yes.
a sending stone.
So you are our
Sure.
solution. So
Yes. So I can send to
Okay.
Sionis if we needed.
all right, then I guess we'll meet here at the tavern in the morning, and then we will head out to Killian's
I think you're
Tower.
really gonna like this
What
next
if
one.
we just meet
probably like a
at the inn?
Well, the tavern and the inn is the same place.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that's true.
And again, since you're not very good at this yet, you may not want to make your plans and have your discussions of things you don't want everyone to know in common room.
I could buy a room if we need to.
I have a room.
We have places we can go. We're just not that.
I
bright
have a
right
room.
now.
Okay.
I have a permanent fixture. Yeah.
Is there enough
Or
room in
most.
your room for all of us to meet?
Is there enough room in your room
My room
for
is pretty
him?
spacious. As we
This is a
discussed
good question.
earlier, my room is bigger than Cabbage's house.
But
Yes.
if Lars comes
So-
by and sees all of us there,
That's true.
that could potentially be problematic. I mean, not that any of us are problematic.
Not
right
necessarily.
now.
We all are
But-
employees of Mizuki's family.
We are?
Yes.
Oh, you
Yes.
are. Never mind.
Let's
Yes.
go to
All of
Killian's.
you.
But we can do Killian's.
Let's
I'd
go to
rather do
Killian's.
Killian's.
Yeah.
We'll head over to Killian's place then.
Okay.
Come with us while we figure this out, I suppose.
Yes, you will need my expertise in communication, I
Clearly.
imagine.
Clearly.
Double proficiency.
So as we walk to
I'm
Killian's,
honestly not sold.
I'm going to talk to Volk.
You say you've seen gods?
This
Yes, I have seen all the
Volk is
gods.
a good communicator.
Unkalaki
What
god.
gods?
The gods.
Sadly,
I
he's
think
better
that
than
you and
most
I
of
have a
us.
different
Well, maybe not
perception
you.
of what the gods are.
Well, there
Most
are
the
9 of
rest
them.
us.
I mean,
They're really
that's
tall.
fair.
Big. They look like statues. They don't move very often.
Also, they're statues.
No, they only look like statues.
Right.
What
Yes.
are these things?
And
His
what are the
interpretation
names?
of the 9 gods.
I am not allowed to speak of them to outsiders
How do you know I'm an outsider?
because I don't know you from my home. So clearly you are not from there. Also, you are very small,
Hey.
and all the people from my home are not small. Well, compared to me, some of them are small, But compared to all of you, they're all big.
Are there transplants?
No.
Why?
Because we live high in the mountains and you have to spend every day hunting for food or else you starve. So not many people like living there.
So why you left?
Partly. Also, it's kind of boring.
Hey.
So I left to see what was in the world. I learned to sail, sailed down a river, and now I do jobs for people and teach them valuable skills like communication.
So
That's
how
his
do you
only
know
skill.
they're not just statues?
Because they are gods.
How do you know that your grandparents didn't just say that and that they're
Because
just
I
statues?
have met them.
You've talked to them.
Yes,
They talk back.
sometimes.
Can I insight that?
Go for it.
I buy it.
Why
I'm
not?
not gonna bother.
I grew up with a different sort of religion.
This-
So,
I mean,
where my mother was the god. So 16.
yes.
I
If
just
you
do,
talk
just
back,
nothing surprises me.
in his religion, he didn't talk back to the god.
Okay.
He believes what he is saying is true. This is why I know small man is not God, because gods are much bigger than small man.
I mean, if he's a god, he can probably choose his size.
No.
You think gods are restricted?
Well, yes.
Hey, Zorgan. Is this striking any bells for you?
Oh, what's your
Why?
shame?
Is he?
You know that whole communication thing he keeps talking about?
Open up!
Usually, if you're not Itzat, that involves
By
talking.
this time, we're in the.
It is
yeah.
entirely
Killian's place
possible
by
he
this
does
time.
not wish to communicate on this subject.
I think he's going to.
You're looking into your own face,
We are inside Killian's place.
and then
Yes.
it goes back.
That is your
That
question.
is an interesting trick.
Technically, they
What
can
did
do
you
that,
just
but-
do?
What, you mean this? See me, not see me?
How is
I
that
thought we were
most
supposed to
amazing?
be planning.
I've done that.
They're still learning how to communicate with one another.
Sorry. Okay, so
It will take them a long time to get the hang of it, I think. They seem to be very new to this.
I'm gonna go get Akarai. I'll be right back.
Yes, have
Okay.
fun.
But not enough fun that will take you a long time to get back.
I mean, if that is what they wish to do.
Not sleeping together.
Simi,
I didn't
can,
say
can
you-
you leave your pet god here?
Where
Stay.
Okay.
I've got questions.
Good job. That is effective communication.
short, sweet, to the point.
Okay.
So, I mean, you seem to maybe be a god. I'm still.
I mean,
He's
I
not a
was. I'm not anymore at the moment.
Have you been?
But I
Have you
You
been?
were?
Have you
Was.
been replaced?
I don't know if I've been replaced. I've been.
Have you been displaced?
So,
That's a better word. Yes.
Right.
did you live in a stone
Displaced.
statue?
Oh no, they do not live in stone statue or
Were
stone
you a
statue.
stone statue?
I don't
not.
remember being a stone statue.
Do you remember very cold, distant people who hunted food?
It's actually not cold where
That may have been the
statues are.
last guy.
Ah, wait. How long have you been in your current position? In mortal
One day.
years?
One day.
I mean, in my current position, like a day. But
In
if you
in
mean,
your- yeah,
Half hours.
I mean, time was so weird as a god. I think. Oh, I don't remember. I think it was 2,000-3,000 years.
Okay, so
See, this is more proof why I
that's
don't
about
think he's a
halfway
god.
through
Gods are much older
Empire's
than
reign, right? Because Empire's like 6,000, right?
I understand why. But I don't know not that I believe. I was trying to sort of gauge that. But,
Although I applaud all of you. That was very effective communication. You used very good words to ask your questions. I'm glad to see you are learning.
I kind of want to punch you.
You can certainly try.
I know. You're bigger than me.
By a
By
lot.
If you want, I'll give you a boost.
Just like toss her up there.
The proper term for me would be a Goliath.
I could be real sneaky.
This is good. Being sneaky is very useful.
Yeah, well.
When I get back with Akarai, we should discuss what each of us can do as far as strong suits, so we understand our strengths. But I'm not there right now.
Yes.
If I even say what I can do, he's just gonna be like, "You're terrible at communication," which is the only thing I can do. So,
And
what's
with
the
it.
It's
point?
the only thing he can effectively
that's his
communicate.
special
is
power,
that
is he's
everyone
just
else
bad
is
at
not effective
communication.
at communication.
Yep. That's as far as we know. That's the only skill you have.
Yeah, I told all
Is
of you.
Yeah, he said he swings an
I
axe.
swing an axe around.
Axes.
yeah, he's saying
And I can do a few other things, depending on the day.
Like,
Right.
Oh, well, so I have, and he'll pull out this bag, and he pulls out a few different colored rocks, and each one has different symbols. Each rock lets me do something different. Usually I keep this one, the blue one, and this one, the black one.
well, what do they do? And why
Uh,
can rocks give you powers?
wait. So you only keep
please.
some of them?
I only use 2 at a time.
They're a little rough on the digestive system. It takes a while to pass.
Okay.
I'm not yet ready to use more than 2 at a time.
Okay.
Okay.
You're staring at me like you were about to like drop something.
Okay.
on
Hold
me.
on while I pull up my character sheet so I remember what each one does.
I will remind you, Zoigan, at this point is not a reliable narrator.
Yep.
Right.
Yes.
Freaking gods.
Our gods ever
Well, maybe if you
reliable
didn't kick your
narrators.
god out of heaven.
Yeah.
I didn't mean to.
Well, you
Well, like-
certainly didn't mean to not to.
Wait, hold on.
I mean, more like pulled him than kicked him.
Pulled
That's
him
not what
then
happened.
kicked him, or pulled him then kicked
I
him.
mean, she did
Kinky.
kick him after she pulled him.
Yes.
Kinky.
We have a kink shame around here.
I
Yeah.
wasn't!
No king.
He was
shame.
just identifying.
So the blue one, it allows me, it makes me very good with animals and helps me scare people who need to be scared. And for a short time, it makes me very strong and hardy. And the black one allows me to see in the dark, and I can make someone my friend, whether they want to be or not.
I can also make someone my friend.
Ah,
Wait,
good for you.
do I want to be here? You didn't do
No, I
this.
did not do this to you.
Okay, alright.
It does not last forever.
But seeing in the
That'd
dark
be
is
But our
Checking the
friendship
heck
will
out
last
of that.
forever.
Of course. All my friendships last forever.
Okay.
You're gonna die
He has a lot
It'll
of
last
dead
as
friends.
long as you're alive.
Welcome
He
to
has a lot
Forever
of dead
Friendship.
friends. That's what I'm hearing.
Oh man, it'd be funny if your character dies in the same spot.
You can just never make it past that point.
Well,
Yeah,
maybe
developer,
the
there
next
seems to be a
character
glitch.
finds-
Whenever I make a new character, he always dies in the same spot.
Next time we'll have to go power level your character. Just your character.
Kill all the goblins.
Yes.
Oh, and when I have to fight, I can make myself very strong and tough for, like, the stone helps, but I also just can do that on my own.
Why can rocks give you power?
Because I carved the runes in them.
Oh,
So they are rune stones.
obviously.
Oh.
Yes.
Yeah, that used to be a thing, but that wasn't my thing. It was somebody else's thing.
This time he is not lying.
Okay, that's what you. What?
Can I make a religion?
What's that?
Can
Sorry,
I make
what?
a religion check?
Your religion?
I don't know what yeah, I guess it'd be a religion. I don't
You can make a religion check.
or
I'd make a history, but that has to do with magic or something. So.
No, it doesn't matter.
I mean,
A history check could do it, maybe.
history or religion,
Sure.
either way.
I'll make a history.
I will make a.
Well,
Blue pool.
we're not doing anything today, so I might as well use these up.
No, it's green.
19?
And an unnatural 20 on my
19?
history.
19, not high enough. The unnatural 20. You remember reading a book in the library taught that that your mother hasn't found and destroyed yet.
Good.
That talked a little bit about how some of the old religions from the north used runes to give them power.
Okay, interesting.
Alright, so he's got magic rocks. What do you do?
19 wasn't enough.
Do you drink and then get powerful?
The DC
or...
the DC
I mean, I
was
make-
20.
Oh, okay.
Really good alcohol.
He
I'm like,
just
I
made
was
it.
so good. Such a good number. I had a good roll too.
It's an old religion. It's an ancient
Oh.
religion from far off. So
I mean, I
It's,
also follow an ancient religion from far off.
this
Sort
is
of.
older and different because I am technically a Goliath, so I am technically a half giant.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
It is a
So,
heritage
what
thing.
can you do?
I make really good alcohol.
How about combat-wise?
I mean, so he'll pull out a bow. It is for him a longbow. It is not as long as you would expect a longbow to be, but he has a quiver that he pulls out of his other bag and he sort of slings over his shoulder. I use this, and a sword.
Okay.
I
I
mean,
assume you've made it to accurate.
combat.
yeah, you would have made it to him.
I assume
That
he's
is such a
staying at Alma's
fake cry,
place.
buddy.
Okay.
Okay.
So I'm gonna knock.
So you knock on the door to the shop, and after a couple of minutes, Anna comes down. Oh, hi.
I'm sorry to bother you guys, but is Akarai still here?
Actually, I think he did come by to visit. I don't think he's planning to stay for the night. I think he's planning to go back to the cloister.
Okay.
He and
She has that effect on people.
he and Kel have
Well, I mean, there's a lot going on.
things
for him
that they're discussing.
Understandably.
Still not sure where I fit in all of that right now. But that's okay.
You're Alma's mom. And you're Kel's wife.
Which I guess makes me Akarai's mom in a way too. Which is why it gets a little weird.
Stepmother. Yeah. Understandably. I'm sorry.
We'll sort it
for
out.
all of
We'll
that.
figure it out.
Yeah, you will. You're a good family.
Thank you.
I'm gonna have to borrow Akarai for maybe a couple of days.
So I can take him to
Make
the
an
cloister. He
insight
can
check real
die.
quick.
Nat 20.
It's very brief, and she covers it pretty quickly right away. But when you said that, she got worried, and then suppressed it. Okay, come on in.
I'll go in. Where is he?
Oh, they're upstairs.
Okay. I'll.
She leads back. She leads you back through the shop to the stairs to go upstairs to their little living apartment. Basically, their apartment over the store.
Gotcha. I will follow along. And kind of stop her and like, I'm really sorry. And
I know, and I know whatever happened, it wasn't your fault.
see, I kind of feel like it was my job to keep him safe, so it sort of was. But
It was Alma's job to keep him safe, and he failed.
see, player Danny knows this. Character
Alma-
Sammy
Like,
is.
oh well, in that case, it is your fault.
Alma was always headstrong, and he had a knack for getting into situations that he thought he could handle. He climbed a tree one time all the way to the very top, and then couldn't figure out how to get down.
Player Steven a couple of times too.
It's a pretty great story.
The thing was, it took Kel coming out and reminding him that he could turn into a bird to come down.
Well,
You can now.
I
He's
haven't
dead
given
now.
up yet.
You don't know that. He could come back. Reincarnation could be a thing.
Thank you.
And she's thinking very loudly, although she won't say out loud. It's like, I'll try and do better this time and bring him back.
Could grow
But
up
yeah.
potentially.
Okay. And she turns and leads you on back up the stairs. So you do push, she pushes the door open, and it opens up into sort of the common area of the living space. And Kel and Kel and Akarai are sort of sitting there. They're both kind of staring into the fireplace, and neither of them is talking. But every so often, each of them will sort of look over at the other.
Hate to be weird,
Oh,
but
and Akarai actually stands up.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but I need to borrow Akarai for a couple of days, and then I'll give him back.
What's up?
We're going back.
What? No!
Player Danny has forgotten why this is actually important now. Like, why are we going to do this thing?
Because
thing?
We
in the
need-
Because
tower
the
is
bo-
the box.
The box is in the tower, and the
Why did we
tower is in the
decide-
ice.
Why are we sure that we need
Because,
this box now?
That's a great question.
Oh, no, I remember. It's because it's because Milo is convinced that he needs to get into the Dwarven place because that's where one of the powerful thingies is, and he has to find it so that he can bring back Adrian.
And according to Killian,
Yeah.
you need the stuff in the box to get into the city.
Yes.
Gotcha.
Yes.
As a player, I will point out that is all conjecture.
It is all
We
conjecture.
so you are correct in asking why are we
But-
going back?
It was stolen,
But that is what we know.
so
And that is
it's
our
probably
only
for-
goal at the moment.
It was
Aside
stolen.
from, like,
It was
kobolds.
like the whole, the whole blacksmith
Yep.
shop burned down
Yep.
because
So.
Yep.
lots of things happened to be able to acquire this box.
I forget. Does Kel know about Milo Adrian?
Yes.
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 Okay.
Stop it.
Nope, it's a thing now.
Maladrian.
Maladrian.
So,
You are all terrible.
yes, we are.
Yes.
So I, but Akarai doesn't.
Right.
What? No, Akarai knows about me.
Yeah.
Oh,
I revealed
Oh,
it
that's
during
right.
the.
That's
Yeah.
right. That's right. So he does. And I guess Anna would as well
Yeah,
because
at this point she does know.
Yeah, because Alma did the exposition.
Yep.
thing.
Yep.
the exposition dump. Exposition dump.
Exposition.
So, Maladrian is
I deserve this.
Worth it for the sigh.
We're pretty sure that the stuff in the box in the tower is tied in reasonably tightly with actual Adrian and getting him back and getting into the Dwarven city, which is required to get him. I'm a little.
If this seems convoluted and not well thought out, that's because it is.
Yeah. I'm a little confused about how all of this works, but things are starting to get weird with Maladrian,
Doesn't actually know that.
and
He just thinks that.
we have to sort him out
Believe him.
soon.
Okay.
It was Killian, so he didn't exactly state
Okay.
this fact.
Right. Well, Kel turns to Akarai. We'll be here when you get back, and we can keep talking a little bit.
Don't die.
We can sort things out.
Or we can keep not
Later.
talking at each other.
I'm still working on trying to figure out Alma. I promise.
I know. Thank you. And it's okay, Simi, to let yourself fail in that one, because you may not succeed. You know that, right?
As long as I can keep trying, I'm going to.
Okay.
No,
Just know that if you don't succeed, that's not the end of the world.
She has no idea how to respond to that, so she's just gonna
I
thank
give you permission
you.
to not bring back my dead child.
Yeah. she's just gonna turn after she thanks him awkwardly and head down the stairs. And our gaggle is over at Killian's for now.
Okay. And so you guys will cross town. It's a rather quiet walk, I imagine, unless you've got anything to say to Akarai. He's kind of contemplating things as well.
I'll let him. That's fine. He can keep thinking.
All right. So after a little bit, Simi and Akarai do show back up.
Hey.
Hello.
Hi. So, this is Zachary.
Hi.
He's really good at hitting things.
Right.
Yes.
Right.
Literally.
No, you did it very good that time. It was very clear that time that you did not mean it as a euphemism.
Simi?
We have been working on helping all of these people learn how to communicate effectively because they are all terrible at it.
Apparently, they think my face smirks.
Well, she said you were good at hitting things, but then she kind of like half smiled and got this faraway misty look in her eyes, which
It was not
kind of gives the wrong impression of the phrase good at hitting things. But it was all cleared up that you are in fact good at hitting things with your fists.
No,
I did not look misty.
I just think he can't see.
Nope, I saw it too.
I think maybe
Two
like,
different
he
angles,
needs glasses
actually.
and like a hearing aid.
Possibly.
Guys, I was not misty.
No.
You are totally misty-eyed.
Player
I
Danny
am-
also went.
Yep, exactly. Player Danny was like, he's good at hitting things.
I genuinely did not realize I did that.
Anywho.
Huh.
So we will see if you are good at communicating or if we will have to also teach you.
Okay.
Could be a full-blown course.
It's kind of shaping up to be that way. I am Volk.
I'm Mal.
Akarai.
Is Zachary dark haired and
Anywhere
Yates
between
hole.
here
Yeah, actually.
and male.
male?
And male.
Do you have questions for him? See if your message is for him.
Do you have family in the capital?
Are you male?
I
Sorry.
have an ex-stepfather?
Is he married?
What?
No.
It is not for you.
That went around fast. Okay. Noted.
Planning.
Yes.
Now, please.
So,
So
I'm sitting in an empty, mostly empty shop.
apparently
Not
we're
empty.
apparently we're going back to the tower.
Mm-hmm.
yeah, we really
Okay.
apparently need this box.
Yes.
I'm still not 100% positive as to the details of why, but apparently
Okay.
it's important. And it was at least important enough for Draxus to get his shop burned down for it.
And for Aunt Diane to leave it in her, on her note, on her doctor's notes.
So
Yes.
apparently this is a big deal and we do in fact need to get it. Is there some way that you have up your sleeve to even check and make sure that the tower is still where we left it?
Now, when you
I
say
can ask Sion.
the
I
tower,
can send to Sionis.
when you
Yeah.
say the tower
He-
is
he
where
can
you left
scry
it,
on it.
you do
I
not
believe he
own
can
this
scry on
tower,
it.
right?
The tower where the box is, we do not own. The tower we will be going to.
You also don't own.
I mean, he left it, so. Finders
Squatter's
keepers.
rights.
Squatter's
Yeah,
rights.
squatter's rights.
Ah, so there are two towers.
There are two towers.
There are two
One of
towers.
them is a good tower.
The
One
two-
of them.
the two towers.
That's what Saruman wants you to think.
Yep.
So, we are not going to the tower with the box. We are
Not
going.
first.
That's the one on the glacier.
The tower without the box has a way to get to the tower with the box.
Ah.
Correct. So our friends there can get us where we need to go
Mhm.
to the other tower,
Yes.
and so yeah, that's a thing that exists. So we should do this. If we go tonight, if Sionis has the defenses up, things could get hairy. You could. First off,
Defenses make things
we should have Sionis
think
figure out if
she
the other
means hairy
tower
like
is still
a
there.
bed situation, not hairy like actually.
How many
Although I don't know,
uses
maybe
of
that is their
Tar,
that spell do you
hair,
have?
burning.
Right.
Per
Let's
day.
see, I
I
have.
don't think we need to go tonight.
I'm okay.
No,
waiting.
we're not going.
No, we're not. I don't think we're going tonight,
I
but we
have
need to
two
at
spell
least.
slots,
Okay. Well then,
so
might as well give Sionis a ring and see if he can scry when the
Shut up, Steven.
when the
No,
yeah,
but you were
to
thinking it,
scry
and because
and
you were
see
thinking
if,
it, I was
the
thinking
tower
it.
is still there.
So, how about we do that first, make
Okay.
sure where it is, and
And I guess while you're doing that, I will answer those two questions. If they
Okay.
have
What do you want to do?
You will probably drink.
then
I will
I
probably sleep.
will
They seem to have plans.
send.
I don't know what else
Or
I
will
would
you
normally
sending
do.
to
Okay.
Don't spar.
communicate with Sionis?
Do you want to spar?
Let's see.
I'm getting rusty.
Do you have sparring weapons?
No.
So first we should probably get you sparring weapons.
Probably so, yes.
Because I don't know about your
let's see.
sword,
So
but my axe
I'm
at least is very deadly.
whereas
My sword can be.
is the tower still on the glacier?
Didn't even go there.
Okay.
We could just go to the garrison and borrow some.
We
They will definitely have some.
Doom.
we will be
mentioned some
traveling.
items
Let's
in
see.
our
Yeah,
presence.
we will travel back tomorrow.
Okay. So you're Is the tower still on the glacier?
Or perhaps.
Is the
Yeah,
tower
Is
the tower still on the glacier?
On the
Especially, we
glacier.
just kind of need, like,
We
just
will
knocks
be traveling back
We'll
tomorrow.
break.
Tomorrow, yeah.
Okay.
It's
It's 20 words, so
Yeah.
I want to
It's
make sure.
25 words.
Is it
It
25?
is 25
25,
words.
yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Well, you
25 words that we
So-
have.
so you had plenty.
Yes.
19 if you say you can respond to this message.
And does he have to like answer right away, or
He can. Yes. He can answer immediately.
is there a gap? How long does that
It
last?
doesn't say anything in the spell.
Yeah,
No,
it
it
does not
doesn't- it
specify in the
doesn't-
spell if there's
Yeah.
if it has to be immediate, if
and
it can be
can
delayed.
answer in a life manner immediately.
Oh, immediately.
Oh,
Okay.
Yeah.
never mind.
Yeah.
Didn't think it's in the spell.
But it just says, but
Yeah.
it says it can. So
You just get a thumb up emoji.
I'll be glad to see you. I don't know about the other tower, but I can check.
So no,
sounds good.
no answer.
So I will. Yes, I will tell. Sionis says he is going to check about if the tower's still there, and so.
So I guess we should go ahead and plan
But he is not sure.
as though it is still where we left it.
Yes.
And then-
the,
either way,
tower we're going to, or the other tower?
The end destination
other
tower,
tower,
where the
the
box is
glacier.
The
being
tower
kept.
with the box. Good.
Yes.
the flying tower.
So we need
I'm
to have,
sorry. Did you
Excuse
say the
me, what?
flying tower?
Yeah,
Why
that's,
did you have
Yes.
to mention that? Now we have to explain it to them.
that's why we
I'll
have
explain
to check
it,
and
it's
make
fine.
sure.
So
it's
that
still
is
there.
why, yes, because, I mean, I didn't see this, but,
It is very self-explanatory. You do not need to over-communicate. The tower flies.
yes, essentially the tower flies.
Interesting.
It is
Yeah.
interesting.
It is.
So,
What, does your tower fly?
no.
As far as we know, no. But
Okay.
who knows what can
I'll have to
happen.
ask Killian.
Like flying tower battles.
Always a good thing to check if they fly.
Yes. No, our tower, was constructed by our other compatriot.
The not dead one.
Yes. One of the not dead ones.
Dead to me.
I'm sensing a lot of
who-
hostility here.
He
Up and
is
left.
wandering around the woods.
Oh.
I have been trying to
Alrighty.
contact him, and he has yet to respond.
Duly noted.
Yes.
So, do any of you have sparring weapons?
Or
I
just large sticks.
Have
I
can make weapons.
I have like 4 daggers on me. But
I
other
can-
than
That's
that,
not
No,
a sparring
no.
weapon.
We have weapons. Our friend here would like to spar with me.
I'm getting rusty.
Mizuki,
You
can-
should not be
Can
I-
you make sparring
you-
equipment?
Yes,
she
But
can make some.
I can make weapons. Yes.
that would be great because I don't want to hit him with my actual axe.
That's
I
fair.
can,
That is also not a euphemism, since that seems to be unclear.
or,
No, I don't think that was unclear.
let's see.
But they don't understand necessarily clear communication, so I needed
But
to
I
make sure.
said it,
Has
so
some
obviously I
metal.
meant what I said.
Correct, but it's if they understood what you said.
Yeah, correct. All right, fair enough. Fair
So
enough.
why is it that you assume that everybody will take what you say literally, but you don't?
Not literally.
Oh, I don't assume everyone will, but clearly since among everyone here except Mal, we're the best at communicating among all of you. So I assume that you understand us, and I don't really worry too much about it because we know how to communicate effectively with one another.
Mizuki is going to.
And all of you seem to struggle in this department, except
You hear on
perhaps
the- you just
your
hear
friend
on the-
Akarai.
You just hear on the right, they're just like, I have the greatest scholars in the entire world teaching me, and
But he's not wrong.
It's okay.
It's all right though. You have all started to become
Mizuki
much better
is
in the
going
little
to-
time we've been here. I have great hopes for your ability to communicate.
Thanks.
Mizuki,
You're welcome.
Mizuki's going to cast command
On whom?
on Volk.
And what is you commanding him?
All speaking.
And then I will. Do not ever try to do something like that to me again. I rolled a natural 20. So, if you have something you would like to ask of me, you can ask it. But do not attempt to command me.
That's a fair boundary. It never really went especially great for Alma either.
Yeah, no.
Boundaries are an important part of communication.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yes.
they are.
I will not be able to assist your friends or you if you attack me in such a way again. Do you understand?
I was just simply communicating.
No, you are not. You were attempting to use magic to interfere with my own will. This is not the first time I've faced someone like this.
May I ask about that?
Oh,
When have you dealt with people like that?
lots of times, the jobs that I am assigned or hired to do are of a... the sort of jobs that... I'm trying to think of the words in your language. Sorry, this is not my first language. It is not the kind of job that you want widely known. And it is something that oftentimes they don't want the proper authorities to hear about.
Covert or illicit?
Yeah, yes, thank you.
Mhm.
So these illicit activities often involve people who are trafficking or using abilities that your empire considers evil or wrong. And so sometimes I am asked, because I clearly am not one of these authorities, I am hired to deal with them. Does not happen very often. There aren't actually that many of them, but I have come across it from time to time. Also,
That's
some
weird.
people have items that allow them to reach into your mind and try and control you.
Gotcha.
So if you would like to ask me to stop talking, you may do so. But if you attempt to use your power to force me to, now you have crossed a line.
I understand.
So maybe in your society this is considered an acceptable thing, but everywhere I have been this is not.
And how many places have you been?
I have been all over your empire.
All over?
From the far north where my home is, to I think as far south as your empire goes, maybe not. I don't actually know. I've been to the capital city, lots of places in between. I have traveled over the oceans to a few small islands.
So, may I ask a question?
Sure.
What person using magic are you hunting then?
What?
Well, clearly you're looking for someone who's from the capital who has ties to magic, as you said that you are someone who hunts
Oh
magic
no,
user for
this
the capital.
job, I do not hunt only magic users. I just do jobs that are available for hire. However, because I am not like a soldier or a knight or a lord, oftentimes the people who are looking to pay lots of money, it's the sort of situations that are illicit that they don't want people to know about. So I often am hired. The person I am looking for to deliver my message, no magic is involved. Well, at least as far as I know.
Okay.
So, no, it does not happen all the time, but it does occasionally happen.
Yeah, that's Nat's seat. She's tending to the wee one at the moment. So
The invisible man sits there.
I have received word back from Sionis. He cannot verify whether or not the tower is still in the same location.
He can't verify?
No. Something is blocking his ability to see.
That means it's still there.
He is not blind.
No, but it's like there's a magic
No,
fog around, perhaps where the
but-
tower is.
All right.
That he
Sorry,
can-
you just
Sometimes
said something
there's-
was blocking his vision. I just wanted to establish your friend is not blind.
Right.
No, and this is not just. This is not simply a. As far as I understand it, it's not simply someone looking at something. It's not like he traveled to the tower to look at it.
More magic.
Ah!
He
Your
used
friend is
magic.
using magic
Yes.
to find the location of the
Yes.
tower, and
Yes.
I understand.
Yes. Magic was used, which is what I asked.
So
But it
much
was
magic
blocked.
here.
Yes.
For all that it is
So,
illegal.
I feel like it's probably if his magic was blocked looking at. Was he specifically looking at the tower or at that place?
At the location.
Yeah, because he knows the location, which means
So it's probably
But he-
still there.
yeah, it's probably still there.
Okay. So, the tower, last we saw it, was sunk down into the glacier, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
So the door window thing was
It's at the top.
at the top, like where it's
Ground
reasonably
level
easy.
to where.
Yeah, ground
Yes.
level.
So
How do we want to do this? How do we want to get in?
Does this tower have a door at the top, not the bottom?
Yes.
like
Conveniently,
like a dagger in butter, it
To-
can pierce through the ice so that the hilt where the door is.
Yes,
Is right on
I
top of the
understood that
butter.
when she said it sunk into the
Right.
glacier, but there is not a door at the bottom.
No.
No.
I mean, maybe she can
There might
put
be
one
one.
there, but
Very
there was
strange sort of. It flies.
it flies.
It
Makes
does
sense.
fly.
Yeah, it
It's
flies.
a very odd tower.
Yes.
I mean, as far as plan wise, we head back to Killian's tower. We have Sionis take us to the second tower with the box.
Conveniently,
And
our
then-
friend used to, I guess, have a fling with the
All of
The
you people are
witch-
interconnected.
person that now
So,
is in charge
Sionis.
of this tower that now is evil.
So there are two towers.
Yes.
One is yours.
Yes.
And there is a witch in charge of the other tower that has the box in it. That is on the
Yes.
glacier.
she
Yes.
stole the box.
And you have a friend who used to be romantically involved with said witch.
Correct.
He came into town the same time I did.
Yeah. So he can tell us a little bit more about
And
maybe
was
her skill
posing
sets
as
and
a
whatnot and help
school
us plan
teacher.
with this too.
For a time.
Yeah, yeah. So we know of
Magic
them
school
well.
teachers.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
That's a thing.
Magic
Magic
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought.
And then I guess we just pick up from where we left off. Because I have no idea. I guess we just go in and hope for the best at this point.
What?
Just trying to decide if there's a better way to go about this with more structure. But since we don't,
We didn't have structure when we first went there.
No,
And someone
That
died.
worked out
Yeah.
so well.
did not go gracefully
It was-
for us at all.
Well, it was.
Mostly circumstantial.
I don't
Unfortunately.
think stuffing an ice mosquito was circumstantial.
Did you say
Unfortunate
an ice
circumstances.
mosquito?
Yeah,
Much, yeah.
pretty much.
Yes.
Do they not have those where you're from?
No.
Hmm.
I have never heard of ice mosquitoes.
Or maybe the term is different. Like they've got the big
Yes.
beaky
Could be.
things and they fly and
Language barrier.
So does this look like a mosquito the bug?
yeah, but real big. Kind of.
How big?
How big?
I mean,
they're not that.
this
big.
is a real big mosquito,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That big.
With the long beaky.
The size of a
Thing.
very small dog.
So Volk would recognize at this
Oh,
point the
I know,
the description.
It's just.
It is a strange place for bugs to live.
Well, I don't know what it actually is called.
No, just I have never seen mosquitoes where it is that cold.
It might not be an actual mosquito, it's just what my brain thinks it looks like, so I
Mhm.
call it an ice mosquito. I don't know what else.
Is this
to
thing
call it.
made of ice? Is it not an actual bug?
Yeah.
Oh, I am familiar.
Okay.
You are?
Sorry. Yes.
I thought I was being clear with that. Clearly, I am still learning the
Sorry.
fine art of
That might
communication.
be my problem. You said it is clear ice mosquito made of ice. I stock up on the mosquito part.
Gotcha.
Language barriers.
Uh-huh.
So, practice weapons, not knives.
I will make whatever you want. Whatever weapon you prefer.
The longsword is my weapon of choice.
Okay.
So since you are in Killian's workshop, there are materials.
Plenty of materials around.
Plenty of materials
yeah.
for
No,
making
I'm-
sparring weapons. It does not take you long to do so with your skill set. So 15, 20 minutes
Okay.
later, you've got a couple of
sparring weapons.
sparring
yeah.
weapons.
Would anyone else care to join us?
Sure.
I don't and can't use weapons, so
Why?
You cannot use weapons,
no.
but
I
you
could
have
use the practice.
daggers.
Yes.
And,
And
a sword
I am like
at your side.
I'm Adrian. I look like Adrian, so I'm like big, bulky.
And you have a sword at your side.
Actually,
But you cannot use weapons.
No.
That seems.
Now, do you mean like you something will stop you from using them? You don't like to use
I don't
them?
know how to use weapons.
Ah. All right.
Training experience.
This is a
I
very
had
nice.
some training in using a shield.
That is
but
a
other
very
than that,
nice sword
nothing.
to have to not know how to use.
Yeah.
It's totally not fake.
Totally not.
Not even a little.
I have no idea how much it is. It's probably
What?
worth a good penny.
Okay. Is there somewhere that we can like practice where we won't be in the way?
I mean, we just move some stuff around and get the middle.
Okay.
All right.
My
I
character
will walk
doesn't know,
over.
but
I will
player
walk
Steven
over
says
and-
that's a really
yeah.
bad idea.
I'm gonna walk over and just start dragging tables out of the way.
Wait.
Let me-
Yep.
let
Make
me
a
do that.
dexterity save.
I knew what I was doing.
Braden's over here like just as I planned.
Just as I planned. I knew Killian
I-
booby trapped this place.
9.
Maybe not even intentionally.
So as you start pushing, there's a jar that wobbles and falls
Oh, no.
off.
Oh no.
Shatters, goes everywhere.
TPK, we're all gonna
Which
blow up.
one do you want to have there
Okay.
that breaks?
Ooh.
Well,
Ooh. Oh, the prototype fire repellent that catches on fire
Okay.
when
So-
exposed to the air.
So the jar of napalm falls over.
create water.
Okay.
That's not a good idea. But okay.
Ah, this is on fire. I don't know exactly
just
why.
And then
Burn down
there's
Killian's
this
shop.
stream of water that appears and comes over your
It's like a
shoulder,
sprinkler system.
and it spreads the fire out.
Oh, dear.
And, it
And now the fire is spreading.
Oh dear.
I'm gonna look around for anything I think I can use
Oh,
to put the
no.
fire out.
Oh no. Do
so
I
there is a
know-
bucket of sand in the other corner.
Actually, shouldn't there be like a table full of sand?
No, because he's
Yeah,
dismantled that.
that's dismantled.
But like dismantled, but like all of the sand is still somewhere, right?
Oh no, like he took it apart and put it in the bag of holding and took it with him.
Oh, okay.
But there is sand.
How big is the spread?
At this point, it has engulfed the entire wall.
Oh dear.
I am going to
Um,
run for the
oh,
sand.
How?
Can I make
Is-
Can I make like an insight check or I don't what
I will-
what check?
What are you trying to do? What do you want
How
to know?
to know what would put out the fire?
I
Okay.
feel like Arcana or
Arcana-
Investigation.
Yeah, one of those two.
Like nature, right? Because
Or nature,
Or
yeah.
nature.
Oil does.
This
Or
is
nature.
a natural.
Yeah.
Yeah, so Arcana, nature, or Investigation would probably let
Okay,
you
well
figure
those are
out.
all things that I'm bad at. So
me too.
Sorry.
Those are all
Unnatural
intelligence.
20.
Yep.
or intelligence. Yeah, I'm good.
Um,
Not great with intelligence.
Me either.
That's what my -2 is.
So
Survival?
what skills do you have?
Survival? Could I do survival?
Yes.
Okay,
survival.
perfect.
Nope, you're just gonna die.
Oh, 22.
22. Okay. So whatever was in that jar is trying to use water to put that fire out was never going to work.
Kinda requires anything.
You have seen substances that will burn even underwater.
Oxygen.
Okay.
And
to
it
get
appears
rid
that
of
whatever he
oxygen.
was working on was based on one of those.
Okay.
So you have to smother it at this point, or so I either have to remove the fuel source, which
Is the air.
is the wall. Well, at this point, it's the wall.
Or the
Okay.
heat.
Or you have to remove the heat, or you have to smother it. And at this point, smothering is probably the easiest bet.
Where's everyone at this point? Just for my.
I'm
So
rushing to grab all the sand.
Volk is headed towards buckets of sand,
Okay.
which, by the way, are like piled around the bottom of the suit of armor. So there's buckets of sand over
Okay,
there.
so I'm gonna just nod at Volk. Thank you, and I'll help him.
I will step
Okay.
outside and grab shovelfuls
grab.
of dirt.
Okay.
I have a
Sand.
shovel.
I'll do sand.
Okay.
Group effort.
Give me a second.
Milo?
Come on over there, Iceman.
How many people are? How many people are within fireball distance?
We're just gonna wipe out the rest of this. Like,
Um,
remove the evidence.
Like
Not
all
that-
of us, huh?
All of
Actually,
us.
not that many. It's
No.
a big shop.
So it's a big
Oh.
shop, and they're all
Yeah.
sort of going for the sand. So at this moment, you have a window of maybe about 5 to 10 seconds where no one is in range right now.
Okay. And I assume because of my patron that it doesn't do fire damage; it does ice
Yeah,
damage.
you're right.
Okay. And I will fire. I will ice ball the back of the. I will ice ball the wall to take out the fire.
Okay.
Yeah,
So-
better name for that.
So all of you guys are running away, so you
Oh,
don't.
snowball.
There we go.
So you don't
Snowball.
hear
better.
what
It's
happened.
better than ice ball.
Yeah.
So you don't see what happened. You're outside.
Yeah.
You don't see what happened, and Volk, you're the first one there. You get there. You grab 2 buckets of sand, and you turn around, and the wall is no longer on fire. It is like smoking and blackened, but it's also frosted,
And I'm just sitting.
like
in a chair.
literally frosted. Huh.
I got dirt. Dirt.
So, is this something that often happens around here? Your fires freeze?
It's not that cold.
No.
Well, no. I told you that I'm really good at talking. I just talked the fire out of it.
See, I might be inclined to believe you, except you're not actually that good at talking.
Well, maybe not to
People?
but fires I'm really good at talking to.
I think that's my department.
All right. Fair enough. You talk the fire into becoming gold. Sure.
So,
know,
are we still gonna practice in here?
Let's
I feel like there are probably
we could
better
go practice in the
places.
barn.
I'm not going to lie, I don't know what happened there, so
Yeah,
Let's go practice in
let's
the barn.
leave.
Barn, the vineyard, the outside would be
Or
fine.
yeah, let's just go practice in the stables.
are we sure that this isn't going to happen again wherever we go?
Gillian's shop is
Booby
volatile.
trapped.
Yes, volatile.
So you know, like, you understand why this happened. You are familiar
Yeah.
with this
Yes.
phenomenon.
Yes.
Yeah.
Mostly.
But not.
It's not gonna
I
start again
can't
as soon as we
promise-
leave.
Yeah, I can't
Yeah, it
promise
doesn't
that
look
other
like it's gonna
things
start
won't
again
happen.
as soon as we leave.
Is,
But,
Make an investigation
is
check.
not going. Is it going to spread further?
I mean, is there? I don't see any
17.
fire.
16.
So
Doesn't look like it. No.
I don't see any
Looks
other
okay.
fire, so
All right.
we
I will-
Fairly sure.
Sure.
But the
I-
next big earthquake is
it
going to
seems
take it out.
the ice
It's now structurally
sufficiently
unsound.
smothered.
Now,
The fire.
is your friend Killian
Killian.
Mm-hmm.
is the one who created this is his place? Why does he have things that catch on fire?
He
Because he's worried that people might be in his shop that shouldn't be.
Well,
there.
beyond that, he also has taken an interest in firefighting, and
So we light things on fire.
Well,
You have to light things on fire in
fighting
order to see
more
if
like
something can
fighting
take it out.
with fire.
also
Wait,
some of the things that he produced as fire deterrents went through some phases where they weren't. They kind of had opposite effects.
Hey.
This seems incredibly dangerous and not very well thought out.
That's pretty much 90% of what he made.
All right.
Oh, it's very well thought out.
All right then.
Yeah.
He's very good at making things. He just gets there usually in very dangerous ways.
The testing phase.
But this is not the friend that passed.
No.
No.
This is the one that's running around in the woods.
Yes.
Mhm.
With lots
That
of trees and wood and flammable things.
Yeah.
All right. This is slightly concerning.
Killian comes back and he looks like
Yes.
Smokey the Bear.
Yes.
Smoked the bear.
It looks like he smoked the bear.
Okay. Well.
Yeah. I guess we'll find somewhere for you
He's
to
not
spar.
here. I will not touch
We
anything
can
else
go
in this room.
to the stable,
Yeah.
Okay.
which are close by.
Cool. And then we can spar a little bit and then go to bed.
You
All right,
happy
so
now,
you
Brayden?
guys.
What?
Are you happy?
That I got to use a spell finally? Yes.
All right, so you guys have you have your sparring session. Whoever wants to participate can. Everyone's going to be a little bit, stiff and sore because of the workout the next morning, but nothing that's going to hinder you guys.
When you fight with a sword, do you fight with a shield?
Okay.
Yep. Sword and board.
So the next morning, you all gather up. You gather whatever provisions you need for the next 2 or 3 days, and the two of you are led off
Into
To-
the woods.
to the west or to the east, deeper into the valley, past Sutterton, past civilization. From what you've been told, this is the last sort of outpost of the Empire, this direction. You guys travel for roughly half a day. You
So
turn.
once we're out of town, Mal has a hard time keeping up with most of you, but
Oh, right.
once we're far enough outside of town, like every couple of minutes, there will be a shadow that will appear 30 feet in front of him. He will then occupy the space of the shadow, and the shadow disappears, or appears where he was, and then disappears, and then that is how he travels.
Okay.
I'd like
That's
to point
pretty
out that
cool.
when our friends asked you what you could do, you did not mention this.
This is a cool thing to be able
Yeah.
to do.
It's not unusual.
Actually,
You're the only person I,
I
have
feel
ever
like
met
it's
who
pretty
doesn't.
unusual.
I thought everybody could do it. At least back home.
There's a whole
Maybe
group
in your
of
home this is
people that
true.
do that.
I mean, my family at least.
You are far from home?
Oh yeah.
Where's home?
Yeah, where is home?
I assume not his
it's,
home.
It's
'cause
up
you're
north. It's
not
actually.
huge.
I mean, he lives further or lived
lived.
further than I did, but I lived up north in the mountains with my family.
And are there
And your family could do this
Mhm.
thing?
were there other people that weren't your family that lived there too, or were you guys just kind of loners out there in the middle of nowhere?
I mean, we lived in a town, if that's what
Oh,
you're
okay.
asking.
I don't know. It's one of those things since magic is so frowned on, and whatnot.
I mean, it's not magic.
I am fairly confident that this is called magic.
Can
What
I?
do you call it?
Shadow walking.
So magic.
I'm pretty certain it's magic.
If it is
Don't
not
think so.
magic, then what is it?
Shadow walking.
If it's not
Yes.
magic, why did you wait
Um,
until you got a good bit outside of town to do it?
Because I really hate explaining it.
This
Oh,
is fair.
Sorry.
It's okay. Like, explaining it once is fine, but in a town there's lots of people that you have to continually explain things to.
Well, you're
And
the
that's
first person I've ever met
inconvenient.
who uses this shadow walking.
Akarai, I'm gonna assume that looks like magic to you.
It
I-
does. Yes.
So, you should not do it in town for multiple reasons. That's a big one. Even if
Yeah.
you don't think it's magic,
Yes,
the
their
fact
their
that
empire
he
really
thinks
does
I'm
not like
assuming
things that they call
that
magic.
it would
Even if
show
it's
up
not
if I
actually
did
magic,
detect magic.
I saw a man one time who did like a little card trick, and they
I'm
called
not
it
gonna
magic,
waste my spell
and they
slot,
executed
but-
him for it.
No card tricks, noted.
Nope.
Well, yeah, people around here are kind of assholes about magic, which is weird.
Or
because-
they just have magic secretly.
awkward.
It's so it's not really the people from around here.
Yeah,
that's
yeah.
The garrison.
Right.
The garrison.
The
Yes.
garrison, on the other hand.
The empire.
Yeah.
Noted. I will not do it in town,
Yeah. Yeah.
except when there's large stairs.
So were you looking for the
I would
town
maybe not even
names?
do
Yeah, I found it.
Okay.
I would maybe not do it there either. Just
As long as
climb
there's
the
no one
stairs.
around.
Make
Mhm.
darn sure there's nobody around.
Would you like me to like carry a step ladder for you?
I mean, a stepladder doesn't really make sense for stairs.
Yeah, but if they're large stairs.
I mean, if they're that large stairs, then there's other ways you climb up. But if it's just large stairs, it's just inconvenient. It's not impossible. Just they don't make stairs for people with legs as short as mine. It's been a problem ever since I left the mountain.
I feel like all the stairs I find are small.
So, do you guys have Zoigan with you?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, we would have.
I'm not just gonna,
we
like,
would
We're
have
not
brought
gonna
him.
we're not gonna let a proto god just wander around town.
No.
So
Yeah,
just
no.
make your legs longer.
Can you do that?
Ew.
Okay, so for the record, that's not how biology works for the rest of us.
Oh.
Just for Alma.
Has it really been that
But he's
long?
dead.
Is that a thing that all you god things do?
Kinda, yeah.
Cool trick. Oh,
Yes.
by the way, guys, I haven't discussed this with you guys. I'm gonna oil that. But also, it kind of seems like the god of justice should probably be where he belongs, which is probably not here.
So a courtroom.
I would agree the god of justice should be doing god things.
Apparently, partially because my fault, because, you know, everything is my fault somehow.
I don't think
There's,
so.
Don't believe that to be true.
No. Well, no.
As I have never met you before
Is this
now,
the
I don't
soberness
think that you are
coming out?
responsible for
It might
everything.
be.
I like
Wouldn't
to
that be
drink these
God's
feelings
purview?
away, but since I'm not allowed to right now, well,
No, you're allowed to.
Oh,
you
you're
just won't
allowed
like it.
to. You just won't.
You are free
want
to do whatever you like. You are not free to do to choose the consequences.
touche. Anyway, I apparently need to do a lot of things in the name of justice and try to spread the word about him so that he can go back where he's supposed to be.
Isn't
So
that
again, wants you to
illegal?
do this?
Didn't you just finish being a monk?
Yeah.
Why can't he just go back?
Well, technically, I don't think I finished
One-way
being a
door.
monk. I just am kind of walking that
Well,
line?
he had to go through a door to get there in the first place.
I
Why
mean,
doesn't he
that's-
just go back to that door?
It's a fair question.
That one might be locked.
Why
Get a
can't
key.
you? What keeps you here? Like,
Well,
I believe in you now. If just one person had that big an impact
Yes,
one
but-
direction.
If you died, what happened?
Well, he would be dead.
Right, but do you go back?
That's usually
no.
what happens.
If I died in this form, someone else would have to take up my mantle.
Someone who happens to believe that justice is the ideal. So if
That's where it starts, but then
I am the law.
then someone has to. Then that person would have to.
Swear the fourth ID.
I mean, they would essentially have to.
Embody?
So there's an old story about a hero that had to prove himself by doing a lot of different tasks.
Okay.
It's kind of like that. A lot. And
So you
Getting
need
more
to go do a lot of
followers.
tasks?
Another person
I have to
would
dispense a
have
lot
to-
of justice, yes.
Well, here's a gun.
I have
isn't it?
to embody the ideal of justice.
So, why are you trying to convince people to believe that he is a god when apparently he can go home by just going around doing more justice?
This is one of those times when there really is no good communication because the language itself doesn't really translate well.
So use a better language.
What he said.
Okay, it's worth a try. And he starts babbling on in gibberish. And is there anyone at the table except you that
No.
understands Celestial?
Yes.
I barely understand.
You understand
common.
Celestial.
Yes.
You do? Oh, fun.
The two of you are treated to this long,
Kind of like.
Like-
this way.
it's almost a scholarly essay on what it takes for a mere mortal to transcend and become godlike.
Does it sound like I need to be doing missionary work for him?
I mean, I'm
That's
listening
part of
intently.
it.
I mean, I grew up with
Dang.
scholars, so I'm picking up.
Milo's like, oh, is that how it's done?
I mean, if this fails,
So-
there's
so,
always
I mean,
other
it really
his mom
does.
is already.
I know, right?
It really does boil down to the idea
Might as
of
well.
these
Ignorance in the-
elemental's not the right word, but basic like primal forces, and a mortal can become heroic by embodying one of these virtues, one of these forces, and makes a name for themselves, gains followers, gains influence, very much like what's happening with Claudius in your world. And
He just adopts everybody.
well, I mean, but he's also gaining followers, and because of that, this idea of Claudius as sort of a god is happening. It's the same idea at play here, and so you realize, yeah, you're probably at this point. This will be his reincarnation as a god, and you are his first devotee
Right.
on this path.
So
Unless
from,
somebody else beats
so
him to
from
it.
what I
Unless someone else beats him
Right.
to it.
so listening to him
Bum,
and,
bum,
so
bum.
listening to him and
Unless
picking up what he's
accidentally
putting down.
become
Uh-huh.
what He's supposed to be.
Like, could in theory of what he's describing, could if the entire town of Costus started believing in him, would that be enough to kickstart him back to godhood?
If you could get everyone in Capital City, in Costas, that would go an enormously long way to getting him back where he needs to be.
And what about Cedderton? Is that
N-
not enough?
Drop in the bucket.
Yeah.
You are also talking about the two opposite ends of settlement size.
Right.
Well, crap.
Roosevelt, New York City.
There you go.
Moscow.
So, okay, so yeah, that's a yes. I'm.
Yeah, so you understood the language he is speaking.
Did you not?
No.
Oh. Oh.
That was a language.
Well,
Yeah,
I
that was
assume
the
so because he
language.
said he would try a more
So-
efficient language.
Yeah, but I could go
As you were listening to him,
Oh.
And
you are
maybe
actually
they would understand
hearing counterpoint.
Oh, of course.
I mean, not exact counterpoint. It's sort of like a like
Deviations.
a deviation branch off of
Tangent.
full, tangent off of full counterpoint to it.
Right.
But it's
From-
definitely from the opposite side of things.
Right, from Emus.
Mm-hmm. And so that voice is also whispering in your ear
Oh,
as
yeah.
you're listening to Zoigan.
Because apparently I come from Emus. So.
Right. That would be the one that Alma would.
Is trying to unseat.
Is that what you're trying to do?
What? No,
Yeah.
no. Just
we were talking about like if Alma wanted to become a god of chaos, is there one of them that like that would
Please
fit?
don't.
I was like, I
Please don't
assume
let
the
it
god
be.
of anarchy would be like the one you
Probably.
could twist to mean chaos.
Fair.
And let's face it, Alma was a little bit of an anarchist.
yep.
Yes.
Not a little bit.
Not a-
He
Right,
was
so
kind of the definition of anarchist.
he might be working on that on the other side.
Well,
So just so
He
you
wants to
are
use
aware,
words.
you're hearing
a
that.
different counterpoint. So it's Emus's versions of how she did it, or just like of like counterpoints, and there's just like, well, I didn't have to do that, or stuff like that.
Some of that, some of if he'd been a better god, had better followers, he wouldn't be in this situation.
Okay.
And really, it's a lot more fun to not worry about justice and just be sort of willy-nilly do whatever you want. And don't even get me started on civilization and his ideas. And
So if I'm remembering right, Keith, justice was chaotic good,
I've got
and
it right
Emus
here.
is chaotic evil.
Yeah,
Okay.
Emus is chaotic
That's what I thought.
evil, Zoigan
Yes.
is chaotic good, and civilization is lawfully neutral.
Yes, which is what I am. Lawful neutral.
No,
Yeah.
yeah, there's
Oh yeah,
there is one god for
the
each alignment.
Yeah.
The
Yeah, there
pantheon.
is.
There is one alignment for each god.
Yes.
One god for each alignment
Yep.
by design.
Yes.
Proof.
So yeah, apparently I'm part of this whole thing. He has to do heroic-y things, but also he needs followers.
Also, your sister Emus is very snarky.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
I know.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
We're walking.
there
Yeah.
you are. Ah, okay. I see what's happening now. Okay.
Hold on, wait, go back. What was that?
I
What's
can
that?
see what's happening
Oh,
here.
I don't know that.
But
You'll have
because
more fun finding out along the way.
Ah!
That's
That
unsettling.
was very ineffective communication.
A lot of practice being enigmatic.
Sure.
So
But you'd
Stop.
do me a solid if you were like, if you were
you
willing
want me to worship him?
him. See, I told you this was a bad
Sorry.
idea. I am not.
I
good
already
at talking.
I already have a god that I've been worshiping for a long time.
I don't have one at the moment,
which one do
although
you
I'm pretty
worship?
sure the one that's
Dinas?
bugging me won't be
Dinas.
very appreciative if I
Who's
start.
Dinas?
I mean, do
He
you
is
have
the
to
god
have
of
faith?
civilization.
Like, what
That
what
makes
is
sense.
the
Yeah.
Good work.
stipulation?
Faith-
Yes.
Faith helps. Faith is worth more.
I mean, do I like just accept that you were probably a god and be like, cool,
You just accept
you've got to follow us?
10 Hail Marys.
How does this
I mean,
Just
You
reach
believe
out
in
your
that's
hand.
worth something, but I mean, it
Is
there
justice
could be
important?
more.
It sounds way too involved? Is there a god
It is
of pirates?
You miss.
Yeah,
You miss.
probably.
No, well,
um,
I mean, yeah, Imus is probably, yeah.
Or Dunos. The god of
Balance.
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 Look, these people are too rich. Let's take it, and then they'll be less rich.
Come on, Keith, balancing on a tightrope.
No,
That's what
and our
pirates are.
Yeah.
that's probably
Pirates are not Robin Hood.
No, but cabbage
no, it'd
thinks
be
they are.
Imus. Yeah,
Oh boy.
I miss.
I'm
the
a
very
sounds a little bit like a
antithesis of
jerk.
civilization.
Are you following any of these conversations?
Sorry, guys. Okay, I
I
just,
am
we're just
very
throwing that out
confused.
there. I was just trying to get the god
So let
that I
us try to
accidentally-
communicate more effectively.
Oh shoot! I forgot I have.
You want to
Reading
convince
here.
people that he
And just
is
have
a
him
god.
fly around.
Yeah, I accidentally.
You wanna say that
DC'd
louder?
him.
Oh sure. I completely forgot I have Ingir, so I'm gonna vamp him into existence and have him
Oh.
just circle around because he hasn't done anything for
I
a
I
while.
believe that he's a god.
Why is there a lizard flying?
Because it's my lizard and it's flying.
Where did it come from?
Where did it go?
Where did it come from?
Come on, Mr. Joe.
I talked it into existence.
He doesn't know what talking means.
I am beginning to see that he will be a very difficult case to help communicate. Would you like to try and phrase that in a more effective, informative way?
I use magic. My magic is a form of communication.
Alright, so you used magic to bring your lizard to life.
Something like that.
Bring him here?
Something I don't know how it works.
Is he already alive? Like, isn't he alive somewhere else if he's
I don't.
not here?
That's a philosophy I don't think either of us want to get into.
But it is a magic lizard and it is yours? And
Yes.
Okay.
Didn't you
So-
call it a dragon?
Well, that has been talked before, but yeah, it has been. It's a pseudo dragon, which is
I have
a
to talk to you about
mini
something
dragon.
after this.
Yes.
I just realized I'm gonna have to hash something out.
Okay, yeah.
Hope it's not my
So
brain.
you want everyone to believe that this man is a god,
I
the
kind
god
of
of
DC'd him
justice.
accidentally, so that only seems fair, which seems to be kind of what we're going for, is fair and just. So, since I DC'd him in the first place, it would make a lot of sense for me to try and un-DC'd him.
Is it
Yes.
DC or unseat?
So you say
I
that you
don't know.
de-seated him.
I think it's unseat.
It might
What
be
do you
unseated.
mean by this phrase?
I
Like,
didn't
that's-
mean
that's
to,
fine.
but I
Yeah.
might have accidentally made him not a god. Or not a god up there.
All
I mean,
right.
correct me if I'm wrong in
No, you're spot on. You're exactly right.
See, everything is my fault.
Are you sure that he
Not
was
everything.
actually a god before?
Yeah.
As you would understand gods, yes.
Yeah.
Because he is very small.
He wasn't.
I can be
Before.
bigger. And he grows up to be your size.
And then there's that.
Then it's always
Have you ever
right.
lived in a statue?
You asked me that already, and no, that wasn't me. That was the last guy.
I guess they trade these outsies when they get tired of the job.
Now I'm a believer.
You got one!
I mean, I don't know that I
Anyway.
should follow you per se, but I'm not doubting
Yeah,
you're
that doesn't
God.
count.
Well,
So,
it's got to count
No.
for something.
so you need people just to
I mean,
believe
I
you're a
believe
god?
that he's a god.
You need
but
people to...
I
I've
also have
previously
to
spoken for.
embody the ideal of justice if I want my old position back.
Do
So,
What a deep question.
you know,
Do you
I
want it
haven't really thought
You've
about
got an
that.
existential crisis.
Well, I
I
guess
haven't
well,
really thought about that.
I guess-
I haven't been, well, mortal in so very long.
Oh,
I
crap.
don't even remember.
True. Well, I guess while we're going after the tower with the box, I guess that'll give you some time to think about it.
Yes.
So can you still tell things about people? Like, do you know the person that we're going to take this box from? Like, is she a bad person? Is she? Well, I mean, I kind of assume she's a bad person because she's done some pretty crap things, even just since we've known about her. But like, does she
I
need
mean,
to die?
some
Did
of
we
those
ever get
some of
her
those
name?
memories are
we
a
ever get her
little
name?
vague.
Yeah, Sayonis told us.
But I seem to remember that she's not a nice person.
Okay, so adventuring to take out the not nice person because justice. She's killed a whole lot of things. We saw her kill a whole field full of things. Arguably,
Yeah.
they weren't things that were necessarily.
True.
If we're using the metric of killing things as making you a bad person, then I am probably also a bad person.
Killed
Indiscriminately
at least one thing.
killing things.
Define indiscriminate.
Not getting paid.
Alright, I am not a bad person.
Wait, but you're not getting paid for this job either.
No, but this is a pro bono.
There's still value.
As opposed to an amateur bono.
Exactly.
Yes.
Amateur bono?
Perhaps if he does a good job, we'll offer him a tip.
Yeah.
A very lengthy tip.
Yes. Oh dear.
Oh.
I haven't spent any of mine yet to be able to give them to you, but I liked it.
So we're gonna assume that the conversations
Yep. Yeah.
follow along those lines all the way up until
Great.
you guys get to the tower.
I need
Mizuki calls ahead.
something for my
Sionis
head
deactivates
now.
the paranoia
Okay,
field.
yes, yes.
There are a
you-
lot of stairs in this tower.
a reasonable amount of stairs.
Yeah, there are stairs.
Okay.
and he lets you guys in.
My first enemy.
Reactivates the paranoia field. He's already got the circle
we're just gonna go straight
scried
immediately,
out
okay.
for you. I wasn't sure how quickly you were wanting to continue on, so I have everything prepared. I can of course wait until whenever you are ready.
I'm Mal. I'm ready.
Pleased to meet you, Mal. My name is Silas.
That is not what your friend said your name was.
Oh?
They're really bad at secrets, though.
They said that your name was Sayonis.
Oh.
Were we supposed to not?
Yes, my name is Sionis.
Hello, Sayonis. I am Volk.
I didn't know
Look,
that.
you
Good to
like-
meet you.
Look, the only one who remembered all the Primuses were Killian, and he's gone. So.
I mean,
You've made some new friends, I see.
Yes.
I was actually an old friend, I just wasn't here before. My name's Cabbage.
Oh, nice to meet you. Are you the cook?
No.
Oh,
Can't
okay.
cook worth the darn.
So, I don't know if any of you want to tell Cabbage about this, but Killian would have, because there was a room for everybody in the tower.
yes.
Cabbage's room is shared with
With
Mizuki.
Mizuki's, yes. It is shared with my room.
Yes, but at the moment we're dealing with some other stuff.
I know,
So
just
you can make me up again.
Yes.
actually that's. He was like, "Wow, you guys
Oh,
seem to get along, and you
I'm
really
sure
enjoyed
that's
that."
exactly
so.
what you thought.
Is everyone ready to just
Yes.
go now? Everyone. All right.
Why not?
Yep.
See why
Let's
not?
go.
All
Is
right.
there anything?
If we could short
Uh,
rest, because I just used sending again, so.
Short rest.
Yeah,
Yeah.
we can take
Yeah,
a short
let's
rest
take a
while I
short
bring Sionis up to speed with babysitting
And
so I
then I
can.
can refill my spell slots.
Really? Huh.
Well, yes.
That would make a fascinating study.
It would. It would.
Think of the books I could write about the nature of godhood.
I've got some ideas on that.
Oh, really?
Zoigan's not so sure he wants to go back to being a god. So,
How would you like to be a god?
no. Simmy, as his head follower right now, might become the embodiment of justice and become a god.
What?
If he decides to vacate the
Cabbage,
seat,
we just
Step by
But
step.
what happens if she does also
Day
not
by
want to
day.
become God?
Cabbage, we just stopped letting Simi have alcohol, so maybe this conversation is best
I mean,
for another time.
it just means that she's got to be real motivated to get Zoigan back in that seat. You know I love you. Don't look at me like that.
Is there a problem if the seat just stays empty?
Probably.
Zoigan? Will there be more justice in the world?
I mean,
Or less?
Or less justice in the world?
I want
things
there to
could
be,
get a little wonky.
I
Yeah.
want there to be justice.
So,
That's what I'm saying.
so
You're
again,
next
if
in
you
line,
would
basically.
stay here
Pretty sure.
while we do this,
That's
just so
terrible.
that
Yeah,
Just
probably
just so
not a
that you
bad
don't
idea.
freeze to death or something
Otherwise,
fall off
you
a cliff or
might
something.
be
happen.
But if he is staying here, how is he going to do
Ah.
justice things?
Well, he's going to be taking he's going to be taking this time to see if he wants to be
Stop it.
valid. Remember? So this will give him some time to
Is there,
have
something I
clarity.
can throw at you, like confetti?
Oh, probably. Sprinkles.
Dirt.
Dirt clump.
Oh wait, I have.
So, I will
Okay.
introduce Sionis and Zoigan
I'm going to throw
together
dancing lights.
so that they
This is
are
a
acquainted with each
former
other
god.
while they spend time
Oh,
together
make
in
good
the
friends.
tower.
Okay. The God and the Guardian.
The god and the guardian. Oh, the guardian of the tower. Sure. We'll take our short rest and
Okay,
then we will.
we'll take the short rest,
Existential
and then
crisis now.
Sionis comes out, mutters some arcane words. There's the flash of light and the familiar portal. Well, familiar to the three of you, portal
Yes.
opens up.
Through there.
Uh,
Through there.
It is sort of the shimmery, watery, Stargate looking portal.
The two of us are going to walk through it, and they're just going to close it.
And there goes our boss!
And they're like, oh, and they're done. We don't have to deal with them any
Come
longer.
on! Oh, thank goodness!
Those
We don't have
people we
to hear
accidentally
about
told our secrets to.
Communication.
Never gonna have to deal with them
anymore.
again.
Yep.
They're just gonna freeze
So
in the ice.
we go through, and I assume we're on the same ledge.
Cabbage is sort of reacting to this because this is our first time seeing it.
Okay, I've got questions.
You walk through.
No. God questions. If I become your devout follower and then you die, do I get to be a god?
Well,
I think you have to embody all
you do have to embody the.
But she
I
would
become
be
real just.
true. But she would also be the highest totem on the totem
She's
pole,
like,
which would make her.
for the chance at godhood, I can do that.
And
I can
guys,
do justice.
I could be a god named Cabbage.
I'm not gonna get to use all of
the
these.
god of justice.
All hail Cabbage,
The
god of
justice.
justice and farming implements.
My cabbages!
Such injustice.
I'm just saying there's some real potential. If you are looking to vacate the job,
I'll keep you in mind.
I don't think you will, but
Okay.
you could maybe slip.
Through the portal.
We're just sitting on the other side waiting.
Or did you guys already?
Oh yeah, totally. Already went through. First people. That's why I was joking. Like the two of us go through, and then you guys just.
Yeah, we'll go through the portal.
All right, so
Yes.
so the rest of you step through the portal
Problem solved.
for Milo and for Simi and for Mizuki. It is a familiar spot.
Yes.
It opens up in the same clearing.
There's probably still like a campfire.
There is still the remains of a campfire. There's the spot that was sort of leveled off where Alma was laid out.
There's just blood stains.
Yeah, probably.
There are still bloodstains around everywhere, and off in the distance, across an expanse of white,
Oh Please tell me it's
ice.
still there.
The tower is sitting on the glacier. And that is where we will stop for the night. And we will pick up there next week.
Are you kidding, Braden? He didn't plan this whole encounter for him to just up and move the tower again.
Yeah, fair.
Well, I would have, but it would have been somewhere you guys were going to be anyway.
Just a tower on top of the tower.
So that is going to
Just-
be it for us tonight. Thank you guys for
The
joining
tower
us.
appears in the middle of Cedar
Hope you
Hill.
guys will
Yep.
join us again
Yeah.
next week. We will see what happens. Assault the Tower Take 2, maybe? We'll see what happens. We are live every Monday night on every Monday night at 6
You're gonna get
o'clock
some of those
Mountain
ice
Time.
make alcohol.
It's up to you guys to figure out what that is in your own
We'll
time zone.
warn him before he tries.
We will, if we ever deviate from that schedule, we will put an announcement up on our Discord server. So go sign up for that. Keep tabs on that. You'll always know what's happening with this stream. You'll always know what's happening with Curie's creative streaming. Great place to interact with us. Great place for all of the news and announcements. We do also have a YouTube channel. It does not have a custom URL, but you can always search for Casual Cactus. Casual with a C, Cactus with a K, and you can find all of the video, the content that we create does wind up there.
Eventually.
Yes, I am behind. Yes, I know that I've got some work to do to get caught up, and that is my plan for this week. My apologies for not being up to date, but
There's been stuff going
there's a
on.
lot of content there for you to get through, so there's plenty else to see if you go to the YouTube channel. While you're there, if you haven't already, do hit the like and subscribe, ring the little bell icon. You will always know when I get caught up and put videos up on the YouTube channel for you to watch. Another real quick shout out to Pan Streams. Really cool guys. They gave Steven access to some stuff that we used a couple of times.
Gesundheit.
Hopefully we'll have
Excuse
some
me.
new music
Um,
next time.
And we will have some more musical content probably coming up later as well. So be looking out for that. In the meantime, everybody.
Grab your bats and
grab your balls!
And remember, if all you have is a hammer, everything looks like a glass house. Good night, everybody.
No!
Good night.